right, welcome back to the party, everybody. This is Morty, and I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Everybody hit that like and subscribe. You know I would do it for you, and let's party. Big shout out to the replay gang. Thank you so much for coming back to watch this, even though you missed the live party, guys. That is the best part, so make sure you are here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes whenever I feel like it. I've been going live a lot more, so hit that subscribe, ring the bell, and you will never miss an Indian Jesus live party ever again. If you'd like to support the channel, head on over to theindianjesus.com for your very own official merch. Only at theindianjesus.com. We do also have our free Discord server where you can go and hang out 24/7. We're in there. It is free to join. But if you become a member of the channel here, you could just scroll right below the video, hit that join button. You get a whole bunch of perks, including the full access to the Discord server, which includes the after party. That's right. We go into our voice channel and you're not stuck behind your keyboard. We don't have to worry about YouTube censors. You're actually on screen with me and everybody else. It is a grand old time. Come and join us. Who we got? Harley Rose. Harley Rose. What is good? Yeah. So we're starting a little early today because we're just going to be, doing the Timcast watch along. Shout out to Am. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. I was not sure if I wanted to, do this. I wasn't sure if I was gonna be like, everybody's watching that. Why should I even do, anything? But then I realized that there's a lot that we can gather from this and doing it together. Shout out to Ayush Gupta. Welcome to the. I'll definitely take him to task. But yeah, so the running poll is, will Timcast go easy on Trump or take him to task? So if you're watching the replay, definitely let me know in the comments. So obviously, if you do just want to watch the video, the link is in the description. This is just going to be a watch party. You can see the chat rolling. This isn't even a live chat. This is on the top chat. So here, we'll obviously be having more of a conversation, but it's not going to be a typical show where I'm going to, be stopping and starting all the time. So if you are new here and you enjoy this, be warned that usually I stop the video a lot. So, I think that while we're waiting for this to begin, a couple of things that we're looking out for is, again, from the poll, are they, what are they doing here in terms of Timcast? What is Tim doing? Is he, trying to make his company look good? Is he trying to elevate his company? Or is he going to, really risk that and take him to task and ask the hard questions? So I do think that, there's obviously going to be a balance. There's obviously going to be a balance. You have to do these things appropriately, right? But I think that if he's just like slathered all over his knob, then that doesn't look good for the company either. Shout out to Tara Spence. Welcome to the parties. And I believe Tim will simp for Trump. That's a very, very real possibility. But I'm hoping, based on the Instagram post that they put out earlier. They were talking about Fauci, and they were talking about some real stuff. So, I'm hoping they come through. And if not, I will definitely be very vocal about how I'm not happy with what's going on. But again, I have high hopes. And says, watch a short video on the Libertarian Party responses to Trump's speech. Kind of exemplifies what Harley was saying the last time. Yeah, very hard to please those people, which is, why, as much as I consider myself a libertarian, lowercase L, that's not really a crowd that I want to get involved with, because they're too hardline. Again, the example is like, if they could get somebody to say, you only get taxed 10% on your income, like, they'd be like, no, taxation is theft. It's like, bro, what? Take the win. And but that being said, I think, from their perspective, the libertarians, maybe they didn't like how Trump was speaking, but I think the rest of us really appreciated how he went into enemy territory. I mean, obviously it's not the Democrats, but still enemy territory and took the booze, got some good moments in there, and showed that he is it's not just his own MAGA supporters that he can win over, that he can get cheers from. So we will see. We will see. What do you guys think? Should we keep the chat should we keep their chat open, or should we full screen? Well, I can't full screen yet, but not sure. You guys let me know which you would prefer. Shout out to Marjorie. Welcome in the building. Welcome. So they're both chatty. We will see how it goes. Indeed, we will. If you guys do me a huge favor and hit that like button if you have not already done so. It is free and it helps out so very much. Thank you. What else are you guys expecting in terms of, or what are you guys are hoping that they ask? What are you hoping that they bring up? What are you hoping that we hear from Trump? I think this is going to be okay. Shout out to Gwenifer. Welcome to the party. So I'd say Tim will be pretty chill, but I hope he has some good ones. I'd rather Ian interview him though. That would be good. I wonder if Ian will be here. I wonder. Shout out to Melted Mind Media. So I'd go full screen. This will, the chat's unreadable. Yeah, all right, we will do that. I can't full screen it yet, but indeed, smart. All right. So if there's one question that you hope that Tim asks, or somebody, again, I'm not sure what the setup is going to be. On Instagram, they put a picture of them one-on-one. But I don't know if that was something different, or if that's going to be the setup, or if they're going to be, if they're going to have Luke and other people there. We will see. Hey, shout out to Turkey Based Her. Welcome. So I'm expecting some boomer humor and candid jokes, but Tim is inclined to like him. Fair enough. And of course, guys, every single donation comes with a treat for my co-host, Morty. Thank you. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Oh, and look who we got. We got the Funk Master General. Welcome. Thank you so much. So break the Overlord a piece before Trump gets here. Indeed, we will. Let me get this out of the way. And yummy. Thank you so much, guys. So now you are the co-sponsors of the stream. Awesome. So Marjorie said, I want to know how Trump's planning on handling the next pandemic mandatory. They're definitely going to try all of that again, and that I think is important for them to address. Turkey based. Baster, I barely even know her. And of course, the Funk Master General. There we go. Thank you again so very much, gentlemen, ladies. I don't know. Either way, I very, very much appreciate it. Gwenifer says I would bring up Julian Assange. Yeah. Shout out to the beaming frequency. What's good? Welcome. All right, guys. The Federal Reserve. Yep. All right. Let's see. All right. We still got a okay. So I knew it. So this is not a live discussion. This says premiere here. Can you see it if I move? Oh, can you see it if I move that? Yeah. So you can see this says premiere. So as I thought, I think this is going to be the one-on-one sit down that we saw on Instagram. It was just him sitting across from Trump. And so this is saying premiere, meaning that this is already recorded. They're just premiering it live. So that makes sense. And I'm kind of glad. Because it takes a little bit of the pressure off of both of them to have more of a real conversation, as opposed to worrying about how they look on the live feed. So interesting. How do you guys feel about that? Am says 1, communicating the sentences of Ross and to free Assange and Snowden. 2, I want him to ask more detail on how we should trust that he can win if the party of corruption is actually in power. Yeah, very, very, very important things. And I have faith. I have faith. I don't think that it's going to be some kind of gotcha interview or anything like that. I don't think that would be smart on anybody's on anybody's case. But let's see. Let's see. Woo!
We are here at the Libertarian Party National Convention.
Go.
It is absolutely amazing hearing these debates. And today we are honored to be joined by two guests. We have Kash Patel, who will be joining us in the first portion of this show, so we can talk about policy, Plan 2024, what's going on in government, and what we'd like to see. And then later on, we'll be joined by President Donald Trump. It is an honor and a privilege to be able to host him. As you can probably assume, he's a very busy guy. So well,
that's a little disappointing. That's a little bit disappointing. So I mean, we'll still see what they're saying, but oof, wow. Because Rakeda is going through it. But yeah, so unfortunately, Trump's not going to be here from the beginning. But let's see what they got.
We're only going to be able to have him for about a half an hour, and it's going to be in the later portion of the show. But stick around because I have many questions for him, and I think it's going to be an absolutely amazing conversation. But in the meantime, before we get started, head over to castbrew.com. Click buy our coffee. We've got Appalachian Nights Whole Bean, Rise with Roberto Jr. It looks like we're sold out of Appalachian Nights Whole Bean, but we do have ground. And become a member at timcast.com by clicking Join Us and support the work that we do. Yeah, as a member, you'll get access to our Discord server where you can hang out with like-minded individuals and check out our members-only call-in show we do Monday through Thursday.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
Recorded episode. I hope you had a great Memorial Day weekend. But right now, as we are here at the Libertarian Party National Convention, there's a lot to talk about pertaining to the issues that libertarians care about, which is the third biggest political party in this country. So smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show with your friends. Joining us to begin the conversation is Kash Patel.
Hey, great to be with y'all. Happy Memorial Day to all our veterans, and thank you for everyone that served. And I am excited about the conference to discuss that, and also look forward to you and President Trump's discussion. It's going to be fire, I think. And I'm going to selfishly plug the book that Donald Trump made a bestseller. He called it The Roadmap to 2024, The Deep State Destruction Wrecking Ball. And cool announcement, Steve Bannon and I have joined forces to make this into a movie. It releases in about 4 weeks, so stay tuned. Government Gangsters is going to be previewing in theaters near you in about 4 to 5 weeks.
Right on. And I definitely want to talk to you about the plans for the future. I'll keep it light as possible because, obviously, later on in the show when I'm able to sit down with the president, I have a lot of questions about law enforcement and things that we'd like to see. But I know that you have a lot of experience.
We'll load you up.
Yeah, you've got.
So I think I mean, depending on how this part of the conversation goes, maybe we'll just do it in a standard manner, and then just keep checking to see when Trump comes. Because I mean, I like Kash Patel too, but not enough to just sit and watch as my show. You know what I mean?
A lot of experience in that area. So we got Luke hanging out.
Yeah, that's going to be a very interesting conversation. My name is Luke Radowski of youtube.com/wearechanged. Today I'm wearing a shirt that reads blank $7,500 a load to see what blank says and to see what's underneath this.
Who knows what it says? Can you see what it says? On blank, SP blank, $1,500 a load.
These stickers go to thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And thank you so much for having me. This should be a great conversation.
We got Phil hanging out.
I hadn't gotten around to that. I always meant to, and I just never did.
Everybody, my name is Phil Labonte. I'm the lead singer of the heavy metal band All That Remains. I'm an anti-communist and a counter-revolutionary. How you doing, Hannah Claire?
I'm good. It's fun to be back. Happy Memorial Day to everyone. I'm Hannah Claire Brimley. I'm a writer for SCNR.com. That's Scanner News. Let's start.
So I was just out at the presidential debates that they're having at the LP National. Really excited. I think this is one of the biggest parties in politics, but not political parties. I mean, like the people hanging out, the conversations. You've got with Trump being here, with RFK Jr. here.
Shout out Drag Blacker. Welcome. I think Luke is amazing. I don't know. I think the show is the best when Luke is on.
It's a big conversation. Now, out there in that, while they're having this debate, so for those that may have watched, this is, several days before, I think it was Josh Smith called for the arrest of everyone He said the head of Moderna, the head of Pfizer, Fauci, and then he said Trump and Biden.
Wants him no more. He's
Everyone's
here.
gonna get some eyeballs.
That's going to get some eyeballs. So I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the arrest Trump thing. Clearly.
I mean, the Democrats are already doing it, right?
Exactly.
So we might as well arrest everyone now.
But, in that vein, the one thing that I really want to see is I want to see arrests. I want to see corrupt individuals who lied under oath. The
Fauci.
the Russiagate hoax, the Burisma hoax. I mean, what's the probability we get some legitimate accountability?
So I think what you want to see is that accountability, right? And the best form of accountability comes in the form of an arrest, especially when the people that are supposed to be watching over the law are the ones breaking it. And it's been a cycle we've seen happen since Russiagate, since Jan 6, since the 51 Intel letter, since Hunter Biden's laptop, and the list goes on. And people keep getting frustrated, and rightfully so, when the government gangsters like James Comey and Merrick Garland and those guys get to break the law and issue unlawful violations of federal statute to go after political opponents.
Wow, really? Triblacker said I actually turn it off whenever Luke is on. All these people who fight the power, and when you see them on the street, they're just like any other reporter harassing people like an ass. I haven't seen that, but fair enough. I mean, going to Bilderberg is you definitely should harass people at Bilderberg, but fair enough. Fair enough.
Violations of federal statute to go after political opponents. So I think. And President Trump has been, only Trump speaks for Trump, but in my opinion, I think President Trump has been very vocal on his positions on being the largest victim of that deep state prosecution. I mean, to your point, 91 counts on indictments and counting, maybe. We don't know what's next.
Yeah.
And they're
Big bad hog leg giver over on Kick wants everybody to know, haha, Trump is a bitch. Thanks for that addition.
failing, and he's exposing the two-tier system of justice. So what you need is an FBI, DAG, and AG to start that process. If those three guys aren't in lockstep, you're not going to have accountability.
So, Trump's gagged. When
I'm not.
You're not.
I was there Monday.
Right. So, this is our opportunity before we get into the deeper conversation with the man himself. Cohen stole $30,000.
It's unbelievable.
Then they reimburse taxes on top, so it's 60. But so in this New York trial, they say that he got a total of, I think it was $420,000 paid.
Yeah.
Under the assumption this was legitimate payment for the work that he was doing. But the defense's argument is that Donald Trump did not know Michael Cohen was paying Stormy Daniels. Cohen took out a home equity loan to pay it himself, told Costello that was the case, then asked for a reimbursement for legal expenses, to which the Trump organization, it was, who was it? Was it Alan?
Weisselberg.
Weisselberg. What's his name?
Weisselberg.
I thought that I didn't want to get it wrong. So he's like, okay, I'll pay you and I'll cover the taxes for you. That means that Cohen stole probably $250,000.
So therefore, we should lock up Trump. Brilliant.
Oh, at least. Listen, let's rewind the tape a little bit and remind the world what Hillary did. Not to go back to Russiagate, but everything seems to, right? Hillary Clinton took publicly raised funds, $10 million, hid it as a legal expense, gave it to a law firm and said, go out and hire Fusion GPS and create the Steele dossier, which is actually illegal to use campaign finance dollars. That's not only a felony, it's a civil fraud violation.
Lock
the FBI never
her
charged
up.
her. In this case versus Trump, right? He used his own money for an actual legal expense. There's nothing illegal about that.
Right.
But the two-tier system of justice rocks on.
Well, this is the hilarious thing. In New York, they said that it's a state law that says you can't corruptly influence an election. So the only reason, like in the event that Trump knew he was actually paying off Stormy Daniels, the only reason that would be illegal is if Trump was doing it to corruptly influence a state election, which he's not, which it's beyond the statute of limitations. So there's nothing here. And we know.
I feel like a person like Trump, it goes without saying that, like, okay, I need plausible deniability. If you're working for me, you're my lawyer, and you know that I'm sleeping with P-Hub stars, like, just take care of it. That goes without saying.
Limitations. So there's nothing here, and we know for a fact Cohen has admitted to stealing at the minimum $30,000. Minimum. And if you add in the tax reimbursement, 60. And if we believe the defense, which would literally which should be made by prosecutors,
Right.
when they're prosecuting Cohen, it's $250,000.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't think that it would have been good for Trump to actually charge her. But I mean, now the landscape is very different. Very, very different. Again, if you guys do me a huge favor, hit that like button. It helps so much. Thank you.
And it's money laundering. So look,
Yeah, money
I was a
laundering.
public defender and national security prosecutor. I tried 60 jury trials to verdict. When I was watching Michael Cohen last week implode the prosecution's case on the witness stand, I was just completely beside me.
He was
who
an
lived
awful
this.
witness. He was so
He
bad.
literally, as you said, for the first time that I've heard, admitted to 6 more felonies.
6 more felonies. Do we? Shout out to Giorgio. Welcome. I think you're just seeing the skin tone. I call it racism. Just kidding. Welcome.
For the first time that I've heard, admitted to 6 more felonies that the DOJ, the District Attorney's Office, and the Southern District of New York all knew about for 4 years, and none of them prosecuted him for any of it.
I got a question for you.
Yep.
You're a prosecutor.
Yeah.
Have you ever attempted to get a felony suspect to flip to get a misdemeanor?
It's unheard of. But as if that was
I don't get the joke there. Was that a Kamala Harris thing, or was that something that had to do with the Trump cases? And so I feel like it's not sure because Trump doesn't get buck wild. That's not. Oh, he definitely gets buck wild, but so much so that I mean, again, it's not something that would even need to be spoken about. Like, this should just be the standard operating procedure. I do what I do, and you take care of it. I don't know anything, so that it's off the books specifically for that reason. And Film said, "Isn't Trump a well-known germaphobe? Why would he sleep with a porn star?" Come on, bro.
wasn't bad enough. The defense calls one witness, Bob Costello.
Hey,
I've never
shout
seen
out,
stuff like this in the
John.
courtroom.
Welcome.
He goes out and exonerates the defendant. And as you said, the prosecution knew that information.
Mm-hmm.
They knew that. They should never brought this case. He literally said, Michael Cohen came to me, Bob Costello, as his attorney and said 10 times, I have absolutely nothing on Donald Trump.
If you're just joining us, Trump is going to be here a little bit later. This is Kash Patel. We're going to, I'm going to be pausing and talking like I normally do, but we'll make sure that once Trump gets up there, we are just going to watch and enjoy.
That's what Michael Cohen told the DOJ, the FBI, the District Attorney's Office, and everyone, as it relates specifically to the Stormy Daniels matter. And then you know what the judge did? He kicked us all out of the courtroom. He literally kicked the entire courtroom out. I've never seen anything like this. The media went nuts.
I don't sound like that.
I mean,
I've never seen anything like this.
room out. I've never seen anything like this. The media went nuts.
Maybe a little bit.
I mean, bonkers. They were screaming at each other. The cops in the courtroom didn't know what to do.
Wasn't Dershowitz there? And he said
I
it
was
was
with
the
Alan.
crazy.
Oh, okay. That was that. Oh, well, that's it. Shout out to Brad C. The charges were upgraded, and that was the joke there. I wasn't sure which one it was referring to, but welcome to the party. George said, I'm afraid Luke is going to be too bold with Trump. So that is interesting. I think you might be right. I think the dynamic is going to be let Luke go hard and Tim be the middleman. You know, like good cop, bad cop. If that's how they do it, brilliant. What would be a better way to do that? What would be a better way to do that?
They were screaming at each other. The cops in the courtroom didn't know what to do.
Wasn't Dershowitz there? And he said
I
it
was
was
with
the
Alan.
craziest moment that he has ever witnessed in his whole legal career.
Oh, man. It was Alan and I were like, and obviously he's one of the brightest.
And this is the
legal
guy who
minds ever.
represented. Didn't he work with OJ and
He was
Epstein?
OJ's lawyer.
And
He was
like,
Epstein's lawyer. No, this guy's
and this is the
represented
wildest thing that he saw in court.
in 60 years. And the judge, you should have seen what happened behind closed doors. We got to stay. And the judge was basically scolding Costello.
Is it even like a question? I as far as I understand, it's not really in question whether or not they had sex. But whatever. Shout out to Dylan Soup. Welcome to the party. Good to see ya. I was like, I want the drama though. Let's see how he holds up. Yep. Also, media said, I think it's just going to be a one-on-one with Tim, filled at a different time than this cash segment. That's probably, yeah. You're probably right. Or because I don't know if this is live right now, because the whole thing is saying premiere. So it would make sense that they already recorded the whole thing and just had Trump come in later, and they did this earlier in the day. I mean, coordinating a live show to then go into, you might be right. but I don't. That the premiere thing here is what's setting me off. But we will see. We will see.
You should have seen what happened behind closed doors. We got to stay, and the judge was basically scolding Costello, saying, "Don't you can't stare me down." And Costello, who I would remind you is a former federal prosecutor, one of the head guys at the Southern District of New York, a career defense attorney. He was just looking at the judge like, "WTF, dude? Like, what are you saying?"
Right? Because if the judge is like, "You're staring me down," and he's like, "No, I'm not." He's like, "You're arguing with me."
The thing is that Trump does have great people skills, but when you're dead to rights, and if the question is phrased in such a way that like, why did you not do this, and there's no good answer. I mean, it's not about Luke. It's about the things that happened. It's about Trump, and the Trump has great people skills, but there were definitely flaws in his presidency. Trump said he did not have sex with her. She said he did and wanted money. I really could not care less. I could not care less. Would you judge me any differently if you found out that I had sex with a PF star? Like, I said, this isn't live. They pre-recorded this and are showing the pre-recorded live. Yeah, that's a premiere. Yeah, exactly.
He can't defend himself, right? Because if the judge is like, "You're staring me down," and he's like, "No, I'm not." He's like, "You're arguing with me."
It was hilarious. Like, normally you object, and then there's a basis for the objection, and then the judge like ponders it. In this case, the prosecutors just stopped objecting. The judge just said, "Sustained, sustained." I've never seen it. I was like, "Wow, where's the object?" Like, you couldn't.
Yeah, that's what they said. That's what they said. So about the last half hour is going to be Trump. So again, we're just going to go through, and again, I said that I wasn't going to be stopping it like this, but I meant for Trump. So we'll just do this because again, as interesting as Cash Patel is, it's not interesting enough to just play as a whole show. Plus, that's not really kosher in terms of fair use. But once Trump comes on, then I will not. I mean, I might pause it here or there, but we are listening. Any film said, to be fair, you and me are not pulling a Melania. Just saying. Marcia said, you're right. I'm sure Trump has some thought out answers to gotcha questions. I mean, I'm so excited because we really don't know. I'm so excited.
Acting. The judge just said sustained. I've never seen it. I was like, wow. Where's the object? Like, you couldn't get an answer out, which is why Bob Costello was like, do you want me to answer this, or do you want them to prosecute me for lying under oath because you, the judge, won't let me answer the question?
Yep.
And that's what he wanted.
I think what they do want is they want to send a message to any witnesses that they'll just claim it was a lie under oath. They will go after you for perjury no matter what. I mean, you look at Peter Navarro. Mm-hmm. You look at, they will get you to testify, and this is why I think it's imperative that Bannon resist this.
His trial's next
because
in front of this judge.
This is what we saw with Flynn. They basically play this game where they'll ask you a question that if you misremember, it's a lie instead of, I don't know, like
misremembering.
It could be something as innocuous as they need it to be. What did you have for breakfast? What did I have? Did I have scrambled eggs?
They were over easy.
Yeah, you had over easy. You
got him.
No, your point is spot on. Everybody's like, Donald Trump's got to testify. Donald Trump's got to testify. And in a normal constitutional courtroom where he has that right to do so. And
there you go. The Secret Service stuff. That makes so much sense. And I mean, I'm disappointed, but like, okay. I would have loved to see like show comes on and he's right there. Yeah, I'm disappointed too. But like, what are they all like? Let's just take a little snapshot. What we got? Thumbnail clickbait. I'm so yeah. I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. We're getting Trump and in front of Tim and Luke. What more could you ask for? Just like the Libertarians last night. What more could you ask for?
Normal constitutional courtroom where he has that right to do so and not be in fear of being baselessly prosecuted. The reason, and I'm not speaking for him, but I would opine legally, is that I wouldn't put Donald Trump on the witness stand because they'll ask him one question about something he did in his past, and they'll say, you lied, we're prosecuting you for that. You lied, we're prosecuting you for that.
You know what they're going to do? And this is why Trump shouldn't testify, and why he didn't. They're going to say something like, the prosecution's going to have him on the stand and say, Mr. Trump, when you illegally paid Michael Cohen to cover up your crime, did you do it on Monday or Tuesday?
Right.
And he's going to go, I didn't. The judge is going to say, answer the question, Mr. Trump, Monday or Tuesday. And Trump's going to say,
leading questions. Any film's got a prediction here. So I've started this. We're going to pull that up later. It said Luke is going to 100% be on the Trump train after this interview. I hope so. I mean, as long as his questions are answered, there's no reason not to. There's no reason not to. Excuse me. Marjorie said, I do not want answers to questions Luke may ask. I want to know what to expect from a future Trump presidency and that he's learned from his past mistakes. Well, I think that's where that's where, you know, all of us talking about Luke going hard. I think it's going to be more about why did you let this happen? Why couldn't have you done this? Why didn't that stuff? And trying to get him to take accountability, which is not easy for Trump. And so, again, we say, someone said, I want to see Trump, not some 7-Eleven cashier. Oh, wrong one. Brown in America, baby. Brown in America.
Right.
and he's going to go, I didn't. The judge is going to say, answer the question, Mr. Trump, Monday or Tuesday. And Trump's going to say, but I didn't do this. It's Monday or Tuesday, answer the question.
And you bring up another point. Not only with
Shout out to Mujin1. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. Trump is not here yet, but he is coming. And when he's here, we will not be pausing it that much. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
the district attorney's office charge him with every felony for lying under oath, that judge specifically has contempt of court powers.
Yeah.
So the judge, you saw what he did to Costello, the world did, right? I mean, he literally did something nobody, including Alan Dershowitz, has ever seen. What do you think he's going to do to Trump?
I mean, he's already threatened him with jail time,
right. He's going to literally be like, I'm holding you in contempt, $1 million. I'm holding you in contempt. You're going to jail for a week.
And I want to just show this story briefly, just to make sure everybody.
I was like 7 feet away from that.
Anybody who might not understand. I mean, this is Politico. Are you staring me down right now? Key Trump defense witness draws judge's wrath. This is unprecedented in absurdity and insanity that we're seeing in this court case. And
lawfare. That's all. The only thing. It's lawfare. That's it.
It's worrying to me that it's mainly an issue for politicos, people who are paying attention to politics, who are watching the news. But for your everyday average American, they don't know what this stuff is.
Yeah.
And so you see people on the street get asked the question and they'll be like, yeah, I don't know, maybe Trump did it. And it's like, if you were actually watching this on a day-to-day, it's like they were reporting in numerous publications the TV drama moment when Michael Cohen was caught lying about the phone call. He's got a phone call talking to them about paying off Stormy Daniels. And then the prosecution, or the defense says, you were actually talking about a prank phone call. Were you not? That was a lie. And then here's the proof. And then they reported a pin drop moment like it was a TV movie. That's how insane this court case is.
Well, that's why I thought it was good that Trump didn't take the stand, right? They've already been on trial for 5 weeks. The jury is reportedly exhausted. There's no reason to put him in a position where they can just ask him about all kinds of things, try and trap him into other crimes.
Yeah, I mean, just think about the speech last night. Or not last night, but the other day that we covered last night, where they will take a snippet of there's one person booze, like, oh, everybody hated Trump. Stay out of the off the stand.
Reason to put him in a position where they can just ask him about all kinds of things, try and trap him into other crimes. But also, like, this is dumb. We all know it. Let's just get this over with. I think that was one of the best moves that the defense made, because the prosecution would have dragged out Cross for another 6 weeks. We've been hearing about this forever.
And that's what they wanted, because the judge in this case,
because, well, as Cash just said, because they want it to be. This could be a very I mean, I'm not a lawyer or a judge or anything, but it definitely doesn't need to take this long. They're purposely throwing so much at him to keep him tied down, to keep him in a courtroom so that he can't be out doing speeches like he did. That's exactly why.
We've been hearing about this forever.
And that's what they wanted, because the judge in this case and the prosecutors know that they'll never publicly admit, if they jail Donald Trump, he's going to win overnight. If Donald Trump is found guilty, which, because it's a rigged system, there's a likelihood that he might.
Is there anybody here who is planning on voting for Trump, but would not vote for Trump if he was put in jail? Anybody? I didn't think so. And if any of you guys are watching the other stuff, or if you're getting bored here, we can fast forward a little bit and stuff. I'm going on the fly. I didn't expect this, so we working with it. Appreciate you sticking with me. I just said they timed these to run so he couldn't run effectively. Yep. I can't wait for this judge to be disposed. I was gonna say, I'm like, all right. It's not gonna happen, but a guy indeed can dream. Dream away, buddy. Dream away.
If Donald Trump is found guilty, which because it's a rigged system, there's a likelihood that he might, they're going to have to allow Donald Trump to stay out on bond while he appeals this bogus trial. Otherwise, this country's going to go nuts.
Well, can you imagine that they won't let him bond out? That would be insane.
Trump got the hate endorsement from Cenk Uygur. It's not really an endorsement, but Cenk said Trump is going to win. Buckle up.
Endorsement.
And the reason I say it's the hate endorsement is that if I tweeted Trump is going to win, buckle up, I support Trump. I'm voting for him. So it's seen as Trump's going to win, baby, buckle up. Cenk Uygur says it, and he's giving a warning to the progressives. But I call it the hate endorsement because he's basically saying to the left, with how, I mean, what did Biden just say the other day? Pack-a-lack-a-lacka? He's got a new.
I don't know.
He's got a new one.
Did you guys see that? He's
got a new word.
Yeah. Between him and Kamal, they have their own language.
He's an innovator. He's a creator. You know.
That's right.
He's creating
slang terms.
New jobs for Webster Dictionary.
You know what you got to do? Get him a T-shirt that says what he should say on the T-shirt that he can wear.
That might help.
But you have to print it so he can.
Bestpoliticaltshirts.com, where you can get Biden's entire speech so that you don't have to listen to his face. I was going to say majority. Marjorie said he has the Michael Rappaport hate endorsement too. Well, I would say that those are slightly different. Like, kind of, yes, but Rappaport is like, no, okay, I understand that Trump is the better option. Whereas Cenk is saying, I don't think that Trump is the better option. I've just accepted that he's likely going to win.
Can read up from the bottom.
Go bottom up. Just be like, but you know, on your thing, you heard what James Comey did, what this hate guy did. Same thing, right? James Comey went on some clown show 2 days ago and basically said, it doesn't matter who you are, what kind of human being are, you have to vote Biden. And he goes, and James Comey, the director of the FBI, who architected Russiagate and signed the bogus search warrants, he's the one telling the world right now you have to vote Biden because he's in fear that Trump is going to weaponize government. That is, I mean, how rich is that?
It's ridiculous.
Really? It's not like that's already happening.
Yes.
Well, he's in fear that Trump will actually bring accountability in government. My attitude with this is, does Trump want revenge? If I was Trump, I'd want revenge. Unfortunately for these deep state cronies, these people who have lied over and over again to the American people, revenge and accountability overlap tremendously. And so I'll take it. And this is why I want to see arrests. I want to see firings. I think anybody who is party to the general corruption, to the Russiagate stuff, these.
Who is this in reference to? Or are we actually talking about Steve Buscemi? I feel like there's somebody that we were talking about that looks like him. Or if you're just right over my head. Don't say, of course, the FBI guy will say that. Oh, hey, Phil is there. Yeah, between Phil and Luke, I'm excited to see, even if it's 20 minutes, if it's a half hour, whatever it is, I'm excited to see what it is. Also, the left doesn't have a chance. They didn't bother to put up an opponent that can compete with Trump. They had one for Ron. They had one for Vivek, but not for Trump. Well, who? I mean, yeah, I don't think that person exists. I don't think that person exists.
Who was party to the general corruption, to the Russiagate stuff, these intelligence agencies, they should be asked to resign at the lowest level, fired at the higher level, criminally prosecuted at the corrupt level. What I mean to say is those who were corrupt should be in jail. Those that knew it was going on and helped facilitate, but wasn't really party to the worst ongoings, terminated immediately. And those who are just underneath them and maybe filing the paperwork, I'm going to ask for your resignation peacefully. You need to get out of here.
Yeah, look, can I add a couple of things to that?
Please.
That I recommended to President Trump, and whether he'll do it or not is up to him, obviously.
So real quick, I think the benefit of, still watching this before Trump is here is to get the context of what is the room, what was brought up. Because if all the things that we talked about in the chat at the beginning of this, if we were all like, okay, we want to see this, and this, and then Cash and Tim and Luke and Phil are all talking about those things, and then Trump walks in the room and they don't say anything, well, that's going to be a double hit. Not only will it be a slap in the face to not take this journalistic opportunity, but the fact that you're aware that it is that opportunity and squandering it. So it's just I'm hoping. I'm kind of ready to be disappointed. I have high hopes, but I'm not holding my breath.
Can I add a couple of things to that I've recommended to President Trump, and whether he'll do it or not is up to him, obviously. But immediately,
I've seen Marco Rubio, number one, getting talked about all over the place, and then I saw him on one of these talking head shows, and he was fiery. Am said, I will say my adult life has really changed since 2020. After watching the justice system portray how perverse it is, I do want revenge. They have diminished trust so much. Yep. I said their only options are celebrities, which majority of people won't buy because their popularity is limited. And says Rubio's an F. No. Why is that? I don't. Again, I'm not super familiar with him. I knew he ran in 2016, but haven't really seen anything from him until whatever the clip that I'm talking about, and he was fiery. Shout out to Zippy DSM Lee. Welcome to the party. Pulling the poll from 50-50 back in the direction of going easy. Is Timcast gonna go easy? Let's see. So again, if you're just joining, Trump is coming later. Right now, they are talking with Cash Patel, and we're going to do it normal style. We're just pausing and talking and whatever, but we're keeping an eye on when Trump is going to be here, and then we are not going to interrupt Trump. We're very minimal. I'm going to try. I'm going to do my best.
That I've recommended to President Trump, and whether he'll do it or not is up to him, obviously. But immediately, you revoke forever everyone's security clearance.
Right. Okay. But there's the MAGA base is already there. The MAGA base is already there. You have RFK on the table. You have TDS, Orange Man, bad people there. So you need a neocon. Remember, vice president really ain't shit. It really ain't shit. There's not much you can do. And so it's literally a virtue signal. So it's saying to these kind of people, hey, come and vote for me. That's about it. I always said it was going to be, thought it was going to be Elsie Stefanik. I've heard that name. I'm not familiar with her. Am said he's establishment. It has to be an outsider or current new fighter. The rest are Union Party and Deep State. I hope it's Vivek or Byron Donalds. I disagree. So wait. Are you saying you're thinking that for VP, or are you thinking that he's a hokey neocon? He's definitely a hokey neocon. But again, that's not at all. You don't want an outsider. The VP is supposed to balance the ticket. Trump is the outsider, even though he was already the president. He's still the outsider. So he needs somebody more establishment to help the people who are more establishment see that okay, there's still something there for them.
But immediately you revoke forever everyone's security clearance. That everyone's security clearance that ever participated in an illegal act that was not prosecuted. Everybody that signed the 51 Intel letter, I'm talking 3 secretaries of defense and CIA and NSA, deputies and everybody, because what the world doesn't understand is those swamp monkeys rely on that security clearance to go out and get their $10 million payday in the defense industrial complex. And do you know who is the sole arbiter of security clearances? The president of the United States.
But this is why.
And you pull it.
Forever, though.
So you're saying VP is the tiebreaker vote. Obviously, there's importance to the position. What I'm saying is that they don't do a lot. And so, genuine question: how many tiebreaker votes has Kamala given? Because I don't remember hearing of that happening at all. And maybe I'm ignorant, but I can't think of that happening. I'm sorry, they all white old men. I can tell the neocons apart half the time. Yeah. Trump said, John said Trump's pick needs to be better than RFK's pick, which won't take much. I agree. I think so. Yeah, I'm saying depending on your goal, if you want to dismantle corrupt institutions, it won't be a new neocon doing it. Again, disagree, because you have to get into office. So if you're going to bring Vivek or you're going to bring RFK as your, obviously, just throwing out names. If you're going to bring somebody like that as your ticket to that's already a MAGA ticket, then you are going to have a lot more people to be like, I mean, if there was somebody there like a Mike Pence to balance out Trump, then maybe I would vote for him. But he brought in this outsider, and it's going to be even crazier. So I still disagree with you. I still disagree with you. Brad said no one voted for Trump because of Pence. Maybe, but how many people would not have voted for Trump if he didn't have Pence? That's the question. The question is, of the people who voted Trump Pence, if it was a Trump Vivek, how many of those people might have abstained? Just saying. Shout out to Quam Tech. Welcome to the party. Good to see you, brother. Yeah, they just got Cash Patel right now. Trump's coming later, so we're doing the standard pause and talk and stuff. But once Trump gets here, we will be watching. Others said her name's dropped a few times, and some have offered, but nobody will know until July, which is of course after the debates, right? Trump is a base neocon. I mean, you ain't wrong. Yeah, I mean, you ain't wrong, because what is a little bit to establishment? A neocon.
Order of security clearances, the president of the United States.
But this is why,
and you pull it.
Forever, though.
So
they can't make their way back. I mean, that's the big issue.
This is one of the reasons why they're saying vote Biden. But I think more importantly is they probably go home every night and start sweating, lying awake late at night thinking, if Trump wins, I go to jail.
Maybe if Trump wins, maybe I go to jail. But if Trump wins, I lose my bankroll.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're fearing the most. All these people come in and out. It's not a Republican or Democratic thing. The Rod Rosensteins of the world, the Gina Haspels of the world. All these people are making money off of breaking the law and using it to weaponize it against Donald Trump. And their fear is that since they've become famous, James Comey, on a certain side of the country with certain political beliefs, their fear is their cash ATM is going to be turned off, and then they'll get prosecuted.
Now, what about the next tier beyond is criminal prosecutions is Schedule F and terminations across the board?
Yeah.
We're here at the Libertarian Party National Convention, and if Trump goes out there and says, "I'm gonna fire them all," the whole crowd just cheers, erupts.
Look,
yeah. So this obviously was recorded before the speech that we already covered yesterday.
Here's the thing: when I was his deputy for DNI, or when I was running DOD for him, we did. People think it's a myth. They're like, you can't fire government employees. I'm like, why not? What? Well, it's a tradition. What?
No. You definitely can and should fire federal employees. Some of them deserve it, and some of them don't even deserve it. But they, we got to get rid of the government. So absolutely, yeah. Shout out to Harrison Butker. And I'm, the captions here are not like they let me move them, but then when I go,
it's a terrible tradition.
It just goes back to the bottom. So I'm trying not to cover it up with the chats too much. But you guys know I love you, so don't take it personally.
Why not?
See, there it is.
What? Well, it's a tradition. What?
It's a terrible tradition.
It's
we keep up our traditions all the time.
I was
Let's
like,
get rid
it's
of
like
this
the
one.
DOJ telling me it's a tradition not to prosecute
So I'm a
presidents during
progressive in this
presidential
issue.
except Donald Trump. Right.
Yeah.
So
I was taking the sit, but I was just going to say that. I was going to say, you mean like the tradition of not prosecuting former presidents?
We fired a ton of people. We eliminated a lot of waste. Nobody said anything. And also, if these people are in violation of internal regulations, which a ton of them have already admitted to during the Biden administration, by going public, by breaking regs, you can fire them. So while you don't need to fire everybody, you could fire a ton of people, and
You
the
could
next
fire everybody though.
but you
Feels
could.
like, but
We need some. There's
95%.
a lot of good guys left in. I'm telling you, there's still a lot of good folks left in there.
is there
I don't know. Maybe. But in the federal government, are there good people? I don't know.
Right.
waiting.
I say the best government is no government, but that's my own personal opinion.
But there's
so
a myth
I'm
that
biased.
there's a myth that people are like, oh, who's doing the books? The employee books or whatever. We need 4,000 employees to be appointed when Trump goes in. I was like, where'd you get this 4,000 number? Like, well, every president has said we need 4,000. Why do we need 4,000? Why not? Give me 500 good guys.
Yeah.
The other 3,500 are the people causing the problems that you end up putting in government. They end up being people like Fiona Hill.
And this is not exactly the same, but similar to the conversation that me, Indie Film, and Harley were having in Discord yesterday about, where money goes, and if there's a whole bunch of jobs that are just taking up space and time and energy, and you can just get rid of that and have one person do the thing, well, then you can free up a lot of money. And because you can free up a lot of money, then yes, just throwing money at a problem isn't the solution, but you do indeed need money to pay for whatever solution it is.
The other 3,500 are the people causing the problems that you end up putting in government. They end up being people like Fiona Hill or John Bolton or Mike Pompeo or Mark Esper or Gina Haspel or Rod Rosenstein. I mean, the list goes on. Like, you don't need them all.
You know what it is? The way I describe this government program stuff is our nation gets a wound. We get a cut on our arm, so we put a bandage over it. What you should do is eventually rip the bandage off, clean it, and see if it's healed. Instead, what we do is we slap another bandage over it, then another bandage over it. These government bureaucrats,
very true, very good point. Just bandage after bandage after bandage.
Rats are basically the only answer government seems to have. Well, I should say 99% of the time, because there are good people like Ron Paul. He was in Congress, he was in government. I get that, but typically it's who can we hire and how much more can we spend. Sometimes the problem is the spending and is the hiring. Mm-hmm. It's the person who works in a bureaucratic office who's like, I don't want to lose my job, and so there are perverse incentives to create issues or maintain issues so they don't lose their job.
So Am says VP choice is who MAGA wants to be his predecessor. If he chooses a rhino, he will anger a large faction of his base because we won't vote for a rhino. What's beneficial of 4 years just to go back? This is, you're not wrong in the sense that, okay, well, who's the VP? That's naturally who we're going to look at. But because of the landscape, we have the people like Vivek. You have people on the outside. You have people in other parts of the cabinet of governors that it's not, unlike the Democrats, they don't just have a very clear line. So that is, to me, looking too far ahead about how do we win 28 before we are prioritizing winning 24. So I agree that this is the case, but you can't worry more about winning 28 in 2024. You have to worry about 2024. And 2024, that means getting as many neocon, establishment, rhino Republicans to vote for Trump as possible. Because I say we're looking to have another Mike Pence situation. He's not new this time. He's aware and doesn't need a neocon to backstab him. He's a fighter who's charismatic and trustworthy. And again, I think that goes to my point that he isn't, that he did learn. He is aware this time. And so the benefit of having the neocon as a VP to get the votes is there. But the risk of him not understanding that, oh, the neocons are not on my side is not as much of a problem. All the more reason to pick a neocon.
Incentives to create issues or maintain issues.
Yes. Thank you, Guantek. I feel like Trump is finally in a place where the MAGA movement is bigger than the conservative base. He doesn't have to choose a rhino anymore because everyone is over the uniparty. Interesting. Because I would have said it the other way around. I would have said MAGA is bigger than Trump. And to say it's bigger than the conservative base, I don't know that that's. I don't know that I agree with that. I think it is very much within the conservative party. And again, because we're talking about the neocons and the rhinos and all that stuff, that it's not even the conservative base. It hasn't even gotten that far. A shout out to Unwanted Foe stealing that sponsor spot. Said time for communion. Thank you, sir. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. That's right. Every single super chat or donation comes with a treat for my co-host Morty. Thank you, sir. Very, very much appreciated.
There are perverse incentives to create issues or maintain issues so they don't lose their job. And that right now, I think, is largely with Donald Trump is obviously the right choice for this country right now. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking about the number one issue for the American people, and that's economics. The second and issue that actually rivals the first is immigration. Mm-hmm. Well, everyone trusts Donald Trump on those two issues.
Yep. And remember, yesterday we were talking about like, okay, what are your top issues? And I was like, I think that was Guantek maybe, who was like, what's your top issue? I was like, put me on the spot. I don't know. And then M169 was like immigration, and I was like, yep, absolutely, unquestionably.
Actually rivals the first is immigration. Well, everyone trusts Donald Trump on those two issues. If you want to get into culture war issues on abortion and other things, that's totally fine. We can have that argument. But for the American people right now, they're concerned primarily about, are we going to get the economy going good? And the issue is, for the people who are bureaucrats in government, the economy goes south for them when Trump comes in and they get fired for being bad at their jobs. So now there's a perverse incentive among these people to jam up the system and support in any way they can systems that hurt Donald Trump, which means they're hurting the majority of the people of this country who need better leadership when it comes to paying their grocery bill.
Yeah, look, this is what the Joe Biden administration is setting up right now. He just released that he's going to sell 1 million barrels of the American oil reserve, right? He's doing that so gas stays down to $3 a gallon until election day.
Yep.
They're
Down to 3. How
Yeah, down to 3. What was it? They somebody posted a picture of the Chauvin Floyd interaction, and there was a gas station in the back, and it was 189. 189. Central Jersey has some of the best gas prices in the nation. And we're still up. I remember in high school in 2008 when it was going up, I was waiting for it to hit to $4 and never got past what I personally saw, $3.86, I believe it was. I couldn't tell you what it is right now, but it's right around $3.50 here. And I am expecting, it's like it's $6.20 there. That's twice as much as here. Insane. Not quite twice as much, but a lot more. Like I said, one day we're going to have to get an automatic treat shooter for Morty donations. Maybe an automatic second camera switch too. That is definitely in the cards. So get your donations in for the Morty Cam. And, guys, I want to say thank you. Thank you so very much. We had a huge response this week to one of the videos, and we passed 3,000 subscribers. I want to thank each and every one of you. I really, really, really do appreciate every single one of you who hit that subscribe button. It means the world to me. So thank you.
stays down to $3 a gallon until election day.
Yep.
They're
Down to 3. How ridiculous is that?
Right,
You know,
down
like,
to 3.
what was it when Trump left office?
I think it's
It was full. Right. The reserves were full.
Yeah.
The reserves
The
are
fact
full.
that, and the,
Drill, baby, drill.
there was definitely at least one opportunity for Biden to refill the
But if he does, he buys, prices go up. He is attempting to rip off the American safety net, the American reserve, because he's trying to manipulate the market to try and stay in.
And he'll say, look at gas prices under me.
Yeah.
They're going down.
Well, he's doing that with the student loan forgiveness program as well, giving away money that is not rightfully his.
So I'm still paying off my law school debt because I told the Biden administration, F you, I signed an agreement. I'm going to pay it off.
Really?
And they sent me an email saying,
That's fucking based. That's based. I mean, maybe like a little dumb, but that's based. They're like, here, you don't have to pay us that money back. And he's like, nope, I took the money, so I'm going to give it back. Now, I don't know his situation with interest and all that, because from what I understand, if the years go by, you end up paying more than the principal rate. But I mean, maybe stupid, but definitely based. Harley Rose, I don't know about Trump being a neocon. No. Otherwise, his position on the Ukraine situation is strange. Yeah, and I mean, I think the if I can speak for Zippy, correct me if I'm mischaracterizing, but what I read from that is the idea that at the end of the day, Trump's ideas are not necessarily that different. It's just the way that he's going to approach it. He keeps the average person in mind. And so it's not about what benefits the government and the government employees and the elites, and hopefully some of that trickles down to the plebs. He just seems to have a more populist approach. And I mean, the populists and neocon and they're not perfect titles, but I feel like I understood what he was trying to say. Marjorie said, the comments in chat give me hope that Trump will choose someone who loves Americans and doesn't want to fund foreign wars. My son has been in the Army for 15 years, done 4 tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. TYFS. Thank you for your service. Harley said, Social Security is expected to collapse by 2030. Somebody's blood is going to pay for that. Yeah, who do you think it's gonna be? So yes, business focused, but not a globalist. That's a good way to put it. The
Biden administration, F you, I signed an agreement. I'm going to pay it off.
Really?
And they sent me an email saying, you've qualified yet again for the student loan forgiveness boondoggle. But people don't understand what it does to inflation. Yeah. I mean, it sends our money cratering into an abyss. And it costs, I went to the grocery store the other day. It was $6 for a dozen eggs. I was like,
I mean, I don't know if I could take a personal hit like that just for the principle of not adding to inflation. I mean, I don't know how much money he makes. I don't know how much money he owes, but that's big. That's big. And so neocons are a large part of why Arizona lost to Biden. Arizona's always voted red consistently, then voted Clinton, then red again. 49.4 to 49.1, and there's still some uncounted ballots. Yeah. Well, I mean, while so Guamtag was saying before that MAGA is bigger than the conservative base. While I don't necessarily agree with that take, I do agree that there is I don't know how I'd say it, like an overlap, but I can't articulate this. I'm gonna think on this. I'm gonna think on this. I'll come back to it.
Into an abyss, and it cost. I went to the grocery store the other day. It was $6 for a dozen eggs. I was like, what the heck? Like peanut butter was like $4 a jar. A loaf of bread was like $4, and I'm losing.
So the other day, it's important for everybody. I asked ChatGPT to give me a diet plan. It told me to eat peanut butter and banana. And so I said, can someone go out and grab me some peanut butter? It was $4.60 for a small can of peanut butter.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. How is a family of four? I grew up eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches at lunch. That's what my family could afford. How's a family affording that?
They can't.
With
That's
gas.
the problem.
They can't, bro. They
Can't do anything, and this is why the Biden administration is trying to offer them all these other things,
free
right?
things, student loan forgiveness.
But it's also with student loan. They tried to roll out the FAFSA. They changed all the questions. They're like,
yeah, is that a thing? Are people doing that? Are people like not taking the advantage of the student loan forgiveness that they're given? Like I want to say, Biden student payoff paid the last $1,000 I had left, and while it's nice, it's annoying that I can't say I paid off the whole thing myself. True, but how much? So let me ask you personally, if you don't mind. Did you end up paying a significant amount more than you? I would imagine you paid a significant amount more than your principal loan. Like if you took out $100,000. Then you have to pay more because of interest, or is that not how it works? Because I'm not sure. I don't know if there's like a time period in which interest doesn't kick in until a certain number of years. I know there was the pause on for the lockdowns and stuff, but yeah, let me know how that works. Damn, $400 on 50 pounds of meat, insane.
also with student loan, they tried to roll out the FAFSA. They changed all the questions.
There you go. You did pay it off yourself. We all paid it off yourself.
Like it's 100's too many. It's hard for minority.
Okay, so you took out 37. How much did? You paid 37. How much did you initially take out? Because if you paid, even Tim talks all the time about the interest and how that's really the predatory aspect. And so if you took out 37, yes, okay, interest is not inherently a bad thing. But if you took out 37 and you paid back 40, you're square. You're square. So the qualifications for the program make it useless. As upset as people are about it, it doesn't really apply to many people. That's what I heard as well. Yeah, but good. I mean, it's not a good thing.
FAFSA, they changed all the questions. They're like, it's 100's too many. It's hard for minority families to figure this out. And then they roll this out like, we're the saviors of you. And then it's all botched. All of these kids are saying like, I don't think I can enroll in college because you told me I had aid. Now I don't have aid. Like even the things they think they've got a stranglehold grip on, being like, we're the best at getting people to college. They mess it up constantly. Like not only are they lying to you, but they're incompetent. You can't just continue down this path for another 4 years.
When Donald Trump was running to be president a few years ago, he was running on auditing the U.S. Federal Reserve System. Right. And I remember hearing about that, and that got my interest in him specifically. When he was president, he wasn't able to achieve that. He did increase the national debt. He did spend a lot of money. Do you think he learned his lesson from his last administration with how much money he spent? Because I haven't seen any kind of rhetoric. And overall, I do think he's going to be better for the economy than Biden. That's clearly the situation, especially with the more kind of populistic policies.
He does the same thing that I do. I ask a question, then I will elaborate afterwards instead of elaborating and then ask the question. Now I don't even remember what it was, but whatever he's saying, that's why I wanted to watch the earlier part as well. The fact that he's bringing this up, if that doesn't get brought up when Trump is in the room, I'm gonna have something to say about it.
because I haven't seen any kind of rhetoric. And
Let me just get the question one more time.
it increased the national debt. He did spend a lot of
Oh,
money.
yeah.
Do you
Just about the debt.
there be kind of a change to the previous policies that did increase the debt?
Yeah, I mean, I think what you saw was Donald Trump spent in areas that weren't spent on before, that needed to be spent on to do things like build a border wall. But he also went overseas and took our money back. And I think you'll see a big windfall from going over to tariffing the Chinese and the CCP, or going to NATO and saying you're spending your money,
But
we, America, are not. And things like the UN need to get slashed in terms of funding. And all
but didn't Biden say that a tariff on the Chinese was a tax on the American people?
Right,
Just a couple years later, he then implemented tariffs.
Yep. Just a couple days ago, he did.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
I mean, a
implemented
couple years
days ago.
after
Yep.
so Trump does this, he says he's just taxing the American people.
that's right.
A few years later, he's like, I'm going to put tariffs in place.
It's the ultimate hypocrisy, right? Whether it's the gasoline thing or the food price thing or the student loan thing.
Remember his, I think it was one of his State of the Union addresses, was literally it was like a Trump speech. It was, I think, 2 years ago. He got heavily criticized for literally just saying a bunch of Trump talking points, and people.
Yeah, I agree that the loans were definitely predatory. I don't think that excuses I don't think that's enough of a reason to say that, okay, everybody now has to suffer, because people who did take out those loans did get something in return. And, even if it wasn't as valuable as it was sold, the fact is that money was spent. And, John's like, taxes didn't pay for it. Got added to the national debt, which will never get paid off. It's a money laundering scheme between the Democrats and higher education. Indeed. Hey, look what we got. Fug Master General Big Baller Holla Holla said for the 3K. Thank you so very, very much. I really do appreciate you guys. I told you we're growing. I told you we are closer to the beginning than we are to the end. We are closer to the first day when I had my hair was only that long and I had it split like that. I'm like, hey guys, I'm here. And we're closer to that than where we're going to end up. So shout out to the new sponsor of the stream, the Funk Master General. Thank you.
I think 2 years ago, he got heavily criticized for literally just saying a bunch of Trump talking points, and people were like, he's just lifting this.
Yeah, this is 1 week ago from the White House. President Biden takes action to protect American workers and business from Chinese unfair trade practices.
And I remember when Trump did it, the mainstream media lit him up for it. What do you mean you're going to tariff goods from? And it was a leverage point. It wasn't a threat. It was a leverage point to say, you, the CCP, stop doing all the illegal stuff against Americans and our allies. Stop spying on us. Stop spoofing our data. Stop stealing our information, and stop egging on bad actors like Russia, North Korea, and everybody else. And you know what happened? It worked. And also our coffers got a lot fuller because of those
guys. They got a new option here to like a super chat, and I see 0 likes on any of the super chats. Let's give some support to the people who are supporting the channel. Shout out to all 3 of you so far. Make sure you like the super chats. Come on, give people some do the thing.
So it's a leverage point. You use it in national security diplomacy as that.
I love this. There's two worldviews in the Biden establishment, uniparty, whatever you want to call it, in the MAGA Trump populist. It seems like Donald Trump's view is, hey, if we secure our borders, bring jobs to America, make our chips here, make our cars here, it's going to be great for the American worker. There's going to be jobs, wealth, and prosperity for Americans. And then the worldview of the Democratic Party and the Republican neocon establishment is, how about we don't do any of that? We build military bases all over the world, go to war with foreign countries, dictate where we build oil pipelines, and our foreign conquest will just give us the rights over the petrodollar, et cetera, and then we'll artificially inflate the currency and et cetera, et cetera.
Haram! Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that plan.
That's when we're looking at the war in Ukraine, when we're looking at the conflict in the Red Sea, when we're looking at Taiwan, when we're looking at, invading Iraq and Afghanistan, going back to the Bush administration, the uniparty of the United States has been, instead of having Americans get good jobs, support their families, right, let's just drop bombs on other countries to have control over oil.
Well, it really is that simple. It really is that simple. Let's shout out Zippy DSM Lee with the Rumble rant. Said, I refuse to feed the YouTube algorithm. Well, the algorithm we want to feed, it's just their pockets that we don't. There you go. Some peanuts and some freeze-dried beef liver. He loves it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Their families.
Right.
Let's just drop bombs on other countries to have control over oil.
Well, it's not, look, Ukraine, I've always said this, and it's part of what I talk about in the book. The defense industrial complex does a lot of good, but they are the most evil empire that owns all of Washington, D.C. and this unit party that you
Bar. That's a bar.
look good, but they are the most evil.
Oh, come on.
And it's part of what I talk about in the book. The defense industrial complex does a lot of good, but they are the most evil empire that owns all of Washington, D.C. and this unit party that you talk about.
Facts. Super facts. Absolutely. Marjorie said, I wish Trump had done better with the Libertarian Party, but maybe we didn't need the chaos. Better in what way? Because I think he definitely could have done better, but I worry about if he had that speech and he was not pandering, but for lack of a word, pandering to the libertarians, and then mainstream media sees like, oh, see how crazy he is. He's now getting in with the people who want heroin to be legal and no age of consent and all that kind of stuff. So it's yeah, I think maybe the chaos. Let's keep it to a minimum.
But they are the most evil empire that owns all of Washington, D.C. and this unit party that you talk about. War is great for them. War is the best thing for them and everyone they own in Washington and everyone they're going to give a job to. I'll give you an example. When we fired Mark Esper out of the Trump administration for not following the lawful commands of the commander in chief, you know what he did? He went and got a $12 million payday at Raytheon. Okay, so they're just lying in wait. In the Ukraine, right? We have given the Ukraine. If we were to stop as United States government,
all right, well, I appreciate that, Zippy, but let's that doesn't help me out. So you do you, but let's not advertise that.
government and just stop and make surface-to-air missiles for the next 7 years, that gets America's stockpiles back to neutral. So if someone attacked us right now, we don't have it and we can't print it and we can't make it. But the defense industrial complex knows I've got billing for the next 20 years. It doesn't matter if there's a Republican or Democrat in there. And so that's why the Ukraine's the modern day Afghanistan. And that's why these people are like, you got to print money, you got to print money, you got to print money.
Ukraine is the modern day Afghanistan, which tells me again that even if we look at Israel and there is allies and all this, that, the other, they're looking at Ukraine as just, again, a money, well, as we were saying before, a money laundering operation.
And it doesn't matter if they're Republican or Democrats because they're owned by the DOD industrial complex. And that thing needs to be slashed.
Yeah. He will never forget you guys.
Big time.
Yeah, no. I actually described Ukraine as the Afghanistan of Europe because there's a lot of parallels there. There's always a lot of conflict there. And as soon as the Afghanistan was over, it was like the regime needed another war to justify a lot of their kind of more nefarious secret black ops activities. And
I mean, while we're on the topic, Venmo is the best way because then I get 100%. But either way.
Now we have the Ukraine war, which is kind of propped up. But Donald Trump did spend a lot on
the initial amount of what? The initial amount of your loan. So yeah, if it was 25K and now you've spent an extra 12K, like even if we say right there, that's the amount of interest. I mean, what is it to feel bad about? It's about 13K. What was the interest? Yeah, and that's a lot of money. That's a lot of interest. And so that's why I'm in favor, at least as far as I understand, which is not super far, but the idea of if we're going to do a student loan forgiveness, then just forgive the interest. The principal loan has to be paid back, and I appreciate that. I very, very much do. Yeah, if hopefully if it's I forgot what it's saying. Oh yeah. If they can just forgive the interest, then that just hurts the schools or the government itself before hurting our pockets directly. Now, of course, it all ends up back on our shoulders, but John said the Libertarian Party self-destructed with their nominee. Such a joke. What is his name? Cole? Something with a C. Can't even remember.
activities. And now we have the Ukraine war, which is kind of propped up. But Donald Trump did spend a lot on the military. And according to Mike Johnson, it was essentially Donald Trump that recently helped pass this larger Ukraine military spending bill, essentially making a larger loan component. Trump was kind of bragging about this a little bit as well. A lot of people saw this as something that raised a lot of questions about what his kind of politicking behind the scenes is. What did you make of that kind of larger move, since Mike Johnson and Lindsey Graham are kind of congratulating him on allowing Ukraine to now have $60 billion from us?
So look, from a political standpoint, Trump's in an almost impossible position. He's trying to win the presidency, and he's also trying so the Republicans don't lose the House. What do we have? Like a 1-seat majority, 2-seat majority?
Basically.
Shrinking.
So does that, we were talking before about VP, does that play into why, even though Kamala Harris hasn't been doing any tiebreaker votes, that we might see that in Trump's presidency? If so, then that definitely, and either way, a tiebreaker vote is going to be a big deal. But again, right now, the goal has to be to win 2024. That has to be,
Republicans don't lose the House. What do we have? Like a 1-seat majority, 2-seat majority?
Basically.
Shrinking soon. I understand from a policy perspective why the conservative movement, the MAGA movement, is so ticked off about Ukraine and everything else. But what is Trump going to do? Go out and blow up Mike Johnson in the world stage and lose the majority, and then we have no levers in government till November? Like, we have to figure out a way to build on that. And what I keep telling people, I told people, what was it last night in North Carolina GOP, was we, and I'm speaking for us, the MAGA movement, can't be 100% of the time. Like, there's going to have to be a give and take.
And I do think there's probably a lot of fear with, if the Republicans do lose the House majority, that thin line, Democrats are going to go nuclear against Trump right now.
Right. And that's the brilliant part of it, right? They are egging us on to try to oust the next Speaker of the House so that we lose in November the House of Representatives.
Okay, so then the question becomes, is it more important to win the election, or is it more important that even if we don't win the election, that we have because then they're still not the speaker. So that's why, even though if the makeup of Congress is going to change, or the House is going to change, then yes, that's important, but it doesn't matter at all if it's a Democrat in office and a Democrat tiebreaker. You know what I mean? Hey, welcome back, Jared. Modern Apocrypha. Welcome. Always good to see you, brother. How are we doing?
The next Speaker.
So let's see. I just want to make sure nothing yet.
For the House, so that we lose in November the House of Representatives.
Did you like Mike Johnson as a speaker? Did you think it was a good choice?
I thought at the time it was a really good choice. I've known Mike a long time.
But would you have rather had Kevin McCarthy?
No, absolutely not.
Jim Jordan. For me, politically, Jim Jordan.
That would have been an interesting choice.
I think Jim Jordan would be the best in that position. Yeah. But politically speaking, though,
who was it? Who was it before? Somebody. I apologize. Somebody was saying, pie in the sky. If he were to pick Rand Paul, that would be over in the best possible way. Ain't gonna happen. But if we could see a Trump Paul ticket, that'd be amazing.
Jim Jordan.
That would have been an interesting choice.
I think Jim Jordan would be the best in that position. Yeah. But politically speaking, though, if the funding wouldn't have happened for Ukraine, the whole conflict would have blown up in the Democrats' face, and everyone would be pointing the fingers at the Democrats, at Joe Biden for failing and creating another Afghanistan.
They would.
And then Trump would have that larger political victory, being like, look at these guys, look at the mess that they caused in Ukraine, look how they screwed these people over. We didn't give them an inch here. They're the ones that prolonged this war. They're the ones that made it that much longer, instead of just kind of capitulating a little bit.
Who doesn't like Rand Paul? Obviously the Democrats, but he's just great. He's no Ron Paul, but he's great.
I thought politically that would be the more advantageous move to make.
I mean, I'm sure there's a few different ways to have sliced it, but like, we keep getting Republican rhinos, and I forget the guy's name in upstate New York, who like literally resigned the day before there could be another special election. Yeah. To backfill that seat on purpose. Mm-hmm. So he's thinking like 3-dimensional chess. I got to counter that, and the next person that might think to do that in June or July.
Well, to be fair, I think we're on like the sixth dimension of Trump's chess playing now.
Yeah,
the means have escalated.
Yeah,
right.
it's getting.
So Harley said them ousting McCarthy was a bad move. Do we agree or disagree? I don't know, because I think that. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm trying to think of the counterfactual. Like, okay, what if they didn't oust McCarthy? How would that have? Yeah, that's kind of. I'm there with you. So what's? Show your work, Harley. Show your work.
Like the sixth dimension of Trump's chess playing now.
Yeah,
the means have escalated.
Yeah,
right.
It's getting complicated. It's just complicated. I do want to say one fact to your audience, though, that when I was chief of staff at DoD, this was the one thing that was just like blew my mind. So Germany, not 1945 Germany. 2024 Germany. Do you know how many bases we have in Germany? And do you know how much of the economy the U.S. DoD budget in Germany is?
I know it's a lot
today. We are 5% of their freaking GDP.
Are you talking McCarthy or Johnson?
Wow. Of Germany's GDP.
Wait, I missed that. What happened?
We are 5% of their freaking GDP.
Wow.
Of Germany's GDP.
Well,
the number one economy in Europe.
They
We never
need
stopped.
us
We never
apparently.
stopped occupying them.
It's what are we like? I'm all
But-
for having troops overseas, but
How
that's ridiculous.
How many troops do we have in Germany? Do you know this?
Too many.
Over 55,000. Do you know how many we have in South Korea?
It's got to be at least 200,000.
30 something. Right?
34,000.
Okay, I was just throwing numbers out, but
What? Like I'm
Still.
all for
Well,
having our
but
troops
Korea is different.
Right, obviously.
It's a very
That's what I brought
important
up.
country. We all respect it.
But you guys were talking about
So-
like
so-
DoD budget.
hey, did you guys know that Tim was half Korean?
And everything and the
Yeah.
way you trim this. And look, I'm all for having the most gangster operation when it comes to national
So-
security, but we got to trim.
Bring them
I-
home.
I just
Bring the
Googled-
troops
I-
home. That's what Rand
All right.
Paul ran on, and that's why he was
Yeah,
able to get
here's-
more support from the military than any other presidential candidate
just-
when he ran.
I just Googled it. This is from February 2nd, 2024. And it says there's 35K in Germany, 20,
That's wrong.
24K in South Korea,
Yeah.
53K in Japan.
Yep.
We
12K in Italy.
occupied these countries and we never left.
Never left.
And I want to stress this. Japan was defeated in World War II. The U.S. occupied Japan and never left.
There's a whole division. The 3rd Marine Division was
See, I don't know things, but sometimes I just have a feeling. You gotta trust your gut, right?
that based out of Okinawa. So it's a
Yeah.
whole division. There's only 3 Marine divisions. There's Camp Lejeune. There's 29 Palms in Southern California, and there's Okinawa. Now it's not. I think they've moved the 3rd Marine Division.
Yeah,
I
they did.
don't think it's there now, but it was
But
there
for a long time.
for the
But-
longest time. The whole division.
At a certain point, I'm like, yeah, we can leave Germany. Like the Iron Curtain has fallen.
Let's accept this number. Okay, maybe can we have like 5,000 there? Do we need 30?
Do we need any? I mean,
I
don't
mean,
all.
right, exactly. Do we need any? The answer is no. And look, oh my goodness, the Funk Master General. Thank you so very, very much. Gifting not 1, not 2, not 3, but 5 gifted memberships. I ran out of big pieces, so we're gonna give him a double there. Thank you so much. Shout out to AM Harley Rose. There you go. Now you got your membership status back. Marjorie, Brad, and Brian, welcome to the Disciples. Make sure, guys, that you join the Discord server and send me a DM, because that now gives you access to the entire server, including the after party, which we are going right after every Monday, Wednesday, Friday stream, which is this. So thank you to the Funk Master General. Again, if one of the mods could, there you go. Unwanted foe is on top of it. Just click that. It's free to join. And then because you are now a member, just send me a DM and I'll get you the permissions and you can join the after party. Thank you. The Funk Master General.
This number. Okay, maybe can we have like 5,000 there? Do we need 30?
Do we need any? I mean, don't
mean,
all international military
need any?
bases.
How about
ultimately-
We don't need none.
No, yeah, we don't.
All right,
How about
so
zero?
I'm going to go on my own island on this one. We need some, because we can't operate the national security platform in this modern day world if we don't have any of our guys on the ground in certain locations doing America.
So Asia,
Yeah,
like
I think, how about like an ambassador, like a guy who is German, but he really works for us. And then like, if anything goes down, we got you. We'll take over, and we got you. We got, whether it's an island or a mansion or something. I'm joking, obviously, but we just, as they said, we've occupied all of these countries, the entire world, for decades. Modern Apocrypha said the big question is if the American Empire goes away, what replaces it? That is I don't like being the world empire. I said shit. Me too. But it is a good question. It is a good question that what takes the place if that we're not going to be the world police. And I think we're at a place where global trade, global warfare, global stuffs of different type. It's not like everybody's just going to go and do their own thing. So because I said it sucks to have the power center of the world in America because of what it does to us domestically. If we don't have it, what changes is that we don't get to, I don't know. I mean, like military actions would play out differently, but I'm not really sure how. And I think that's a big part of what Trump talks about. that between like the UN and we don't like other countries aren't doing their part. And so the point of the UN was supposed to be that we didn't have to be the world police, and that together we're all policing each other, checks and balances style. But power indeed does abhor a vacuum. Ben Carson. I don't like Ben Carson. I haven't heard him speak in a long time. I just don't like him. There's something about him. I just don't like him. Any film said in about 20 years, we'll have occupied Japan and Germany for a century. A century. But why does the world hate us? It's for our freedoms. Is it though? Is it though? Oh, my hair's in the way. Is it though? I said, anyways, if it wasn't for McCarthy negotiating with the Dems, the government would have shut down because Republicans refused to work with them. Avoiding a shutdown is more important than political agendas. I don't disagree, but I'm trying to think back. I don't remember how this all played out. All right, I'll take your word for it. Okay, damn, really, people really are not behind Rubio. All right, I guess so. Who else? Marjorie saying Ben Carson. Who else would you guys like to see as VP? Like in terms of a realistic choice. We all would love to see Vivek, but I don't. That's not happening.
Don't have any of our guys on the ground in certain locations doing America.
So Asia,
who's going to spy on Angela Merkel?
No, but
Angela Merkel deserves to be spied on, like she was previously before by the U.S. intel agencies.
I agree. I don't know about those numbers, but I agree. But Phil.
Well, it is a good point. There, like one of the problems that we had before 9/11 was the fact that we had no human intelligence. There was no context. There weren't people
I read his book
in those places that you could talk to. Like there was nobody for the State Department to actually discuss like any kind of policy or anything like that. So or like find out who knew what. That's why it took so long to get Bin Laden and stuff. There was no human intelligence. So there's an argument.
Bin Laden?
What?
I got questions about that.
Oh, yeah, you want to talk about that too?
We don't have to.
Let's go down the rabbit hole. I'm all in on it.
They just changed the story 5 times, and he was on kidney
So
dialysis.
anyways,
let's not get taken off the air before Trump gets here.
There is an argument that there is a use for the military to have some kind of context, but you don't need to have the full U.S. military in military bases.
I mean, well, in comparison to Nikki Haley, yeah, I would definitely go Carson. But and it's not anything that he did or said. It's just one of those things where sometimes you just get a vibe from somebody and you're like, I don't know. Nope. I don't know what it is. I don't have any, browser lost screen share audio. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Said we lost audio. Let's check that again. Test. That's not good. Oh, Jesus. Struggle streaming. Come on, baby. Okay, so I'm fine. But why is this not playing now? No. We were 42 minutes back. What the hell? Is it just this? Well, now I can't hear that. Oh, struggle streaming. Will it play without you? It's just not playing. Dude, come on. We might have to do a restart. All right, well, since it's just cached, then we'll do this. Stick with me. And if you are watching the replay, just fast forward. I'm gonna get this all figured out. So I'm gonna hop on my phone right now. I'm gonna restart. All right, hold on. All right. Okay, so let's get some questions. Question and answer time. Question and answer time. Right. So Marjorie said, some people think Ben Carson is too nice and not hard enough. Well, again, that speaks to the balance that we were talking about having having the on the ticket of people who don't like Trump but are willing to see, like, okay, if he brings this guy in. All right, so the last like week, whenever I've shut down my computer and it's opened up, all the tabs have been there. I guarantee you this time. Oh, there we go. All right, it worked. Perfect. All right, hold on. I was so sure that it was going to be like the one time that I actually need to do it midstream. Boom. One time I needed to go midstream, then it wasn't going to work, but it did, and everything's right here, and it's perfect. So, and the video was playing. All right. So, real quick, one or two. So, one, do you want to go back to where we were? Two, play it from here. What do you want to do while I answer some of these questions? So, one, if you want to go back. Two, if you just want to play it from where they are. Any film said, I would guess that the servers are getting hit hard with a lot of viewers for this particular episode. I think that is a safe guess. Unwanted foe said, are you born with it or is it Maybelline? All right, so we got unwanted foe is outvoted. We are just gonna keep it from where
you got a huge jail sentence without being found guilty. So
right, there's a lot of merit to that, right? It didn't happen yesterday. It happened a dozen
many years ago.
But the issue being that they first falsely held him on this ridiculous molestation charge, which
took him how many years to clear, right?
And they dropped it. It was BS the whole time. And then as soon as that happens, he gets raided. My understanding, I could be wrong, is that Trump himself ordered Assange to be arrested from the Ecuadorian embassy.
I have not heard that.
Well, it did happen under his administration. Right. And according to some sources that I've talked to, there was some kind of backroom dealings and conversations specifically about revealing sources, which Assange refused to do so, and therefore was automatically kind of dragged out. Where the head of the CIA...
Guys, again, if you got the membership, join the Discord. Join the Discord. It is free, and because you have the membership, now you get a part of the after party. But I have to change your permission, so do it.
There was Barr literally talking about assassinating and taking out, Julian Assange.
I'll tell you the theory and rumor that circulates behind the scenes is that
I pulled this up. I didn't see it. Good one. If I had noticed that, I might have gone back. But I gotta please. Oh no, Instagram's down. Oh well, I guess. Oh wait, no, it's not. Cool, sweet.
And taking out, Julian Assange.
I'll tell you the The theory and rumor that circulates behind the scenes is that with the WikiLeaks email, the
comment of the night,
DCCC emails,
comment of the night,
and the DNC stuff, there's a question as to where Julian Assange got it from. Of course, the Seth Rich theory flies around, and Julian Assange made several statements about Seth Rich as if to imply, without directly saying, Seth Rich may have been the source. Now, the corporate press, of course, says this is ridiculous. It's not true. He was just a victim of a robbery. The conspiracy theory behind the scenes, and I don't like saying conspiracy theory because this is actually people in D.C. and in the Beltway have spread this rumor. And it's a rumor that Trump wanted the information from Assange as to his source of these emails because, one, national security interests, and two, it could actually prove a criminal conspiracy behind the scenes, so could targeting him specifically or his administration or any of his priorities. And the idea was go to Assange and say, give us the proof who this was, Seth Rich or otherwise, and you're a free man. And Assange said, never, won't do it. So then Trump said, if you don't, we're going to arrest you and bring you to the U.S. and have you testify. And so the theory goes that Assange said, I will never reveal my sources under any circumstances. And they said, then we're going to bring you here and make you talk.
So I can't speak directly to that. I wasn't involved in that, but the DNC server intrusion is probably the greatest single subject to talk about right now for all of this, because the left-wing media put the hack on Russia so they could tie Donald Trump to Russia collusion,
Exactly.
right?
And if Trump could prove that it was not true,
then
it
he
destroyed
gets
the whole narrative.
then he gets exonerated. But here's how deep it gets, right? For the first time that I'd ever heard in FBI history, they allowed a private entity, CrowdStrike, to go in and exploit the DNC servers, but only whatever CrowdStrike wanted to exploit. And they never handed those servers over to the FBI. So the FBI could have exploited them and we could have had the answers. But I think it's because they knew it was not a Russian hack. And I do believe Julian Assange probably knows who did it, right? And it would have exonerated Donald Trump and the entire Russia collusion narrative. But this goes to the bigger problem in DC about why did James Comey allow some random software tech firm to go in there and exploit the data off the DNC firm?
I'm trying to pick up like what it is that we missed. And obviously they're talking about Assange and Seth Rich and all that stuff and how Trump is involved. But like there's something else we're missing.
Do you know who the owner and CEO of CrowdStrike is? Sean Henry. Do you know what he used to be? James Comey's assistant at the
Of course. Of course she does.
FBI. So like the whole
crazy
narrative could have been
coincidence.
destroyed.
So this is what makes the whole story kind of plausible.
Okay, recap.
Donald Trump thinking about, one, his personal interests, but also national security interests.
Yeah.
Okay.
If there really is a criminal conspiracy to frame him as a Russian agent and Hillary Clinton...
Someone should be prosecuted for it.
And all he needed
Yeah.
was for Julian Assange to say, my source was this. And Julian Assange would not do it because Julian Assange, for WikiLeaks, the moment he ever gives up a single source, WikiLeaks
game
ceases
over.
to
It
exist.
does. Yeah, it does. Nobody
So
ever,
then,
once they give up the source, then nobody ever submits anything to WikiLeaks ever again. And so it's between a rock and a hard place for sure.
moment he ever gives up a single source, WikiLeaks
game
ceases
over.
to exist.
Right.
So then this is where this rumor comes from. There are people who claim that they were involved in conversations related to this. And
I wasn't. I don't know.
Not saying you
yeah,
were.
Yeah.
But that Trump basically was like, this is a guy
Wasn't
who
me, I swear.
is wanted by the United States as it is. Though there was a grand jury at the time. He was still yet unindicted. And the rumor goes that Trump said, if he comes here and testifies and gives us a statement, we blow the lid off of the Russiagate hoax and the people involved. You know, it's a challenge for me because I'm like, for the sake of this country, we need that information.
The others, and I'm just spitballing here, so this is coming off the top of my head.
True, but
Because you got to remember who ran the FBI and DOJ, even though it was during a Trump administration. They hate
he's saying the U.S. needs that information. Like, but okay, sure, but that's not on Assange. That's not on Assange. The information is there, and if he's credible, then that needs to be good enough in order for journalism in general to operate the way it does. That has to it has to go that way. So it's not his fault. And I don't know that Tim is saying that. I'm just pointing out that even if the American government needs this information, it's not on Assange that they don't have it. They have an FBI, a CIA, whatever. If somebody decided to leak it to him, then he has no obligation to give that up. That's directly part of the First Amendment. Shout out to Yeshua is Lord. Welcome to the party. I'm laughing at the joke here, right? Comment of the night. Welcome, Yeshua. Good to see you. Apocrypha said this conflict of interest was pretty inevitable. Yep.
come off the top of my head, because you got to remember who ran the FBI and DOJ, even though it was during a Trump administration. They hated
mistakes.
They hated Trump, right?
Why didn't he fire him?
I know.
he
Ask
hired
him
a
when
lot
he's
of them.
there.
We hope he doesn't hire them again.
Yeah,
You
no,
better
personal
ask
is a
him when
big
he's
thing.
there.
But the other way to look at it is those institutionalists, Bill Barr, Chris Wray, and all those people in between, right? They prosecuted Julian Assange to shut him up.
Yeah.
Right. Donald Trump had nothing to do with it. Right. They, the FBI and DOJ, who created Russiagate and were in on the scam, they know who hacked the the DNC servers. The guys and gals that have been working on that case for like 6 years, they have the answer. And the only way to keep it closed loop is by going out and prosecuting Julian Assange, by weaponizing the system of government against your political opponents and burying that information.
Trump should pardon him and get him out of jail.
I think that's more plausible. I think that information should be put out for the American public to see. Wait a second. Why don't we know who hacked the I think the FBI knows.
Exactly. I completely agree. Again, guys, if you're not already, hit that like button. Please do me a favor and do that. It is so quick. It is free and it helps out the channel so very much.
For the American public to see. Wait a second. Why don't we know who hacked the I think the FBI knows. We just haven't been told.
So do you think they would pardon Assange?
If Trump pardons Assange, right, there could be secret meetings, grand jury hearings where he could kind of testify. It wouldn't go public, where he could say, "These are my sources. This is the case."
I mean, there's a whole host of
ways to do that.
This is the argument is that Assange said never under any circumstances. So,
and I'm saying he doesn't even have to. I'm saying the corrupt government gangsters that rigged Russiagate are the same ones that authored this corruption, and they know how to hide it, so they went and prosecuted Assange. So
how many of you do you think would be able to stay with your, stick to your principles in the face of that much adversity? I mean, of course, we all want to think, excuse me, we all want to think that we would. And everybody would say, "Oh, well, yeah, of course, I would never give up my sources. I don't care what they would do. They could torture me." But I mean, I don't know if I'm down to be tortured. I don't know if I'm down to, stay in an embassy for how long has it been? I don't know. I have never been in anywhere exactly, modern apocrypha. Until you face it, you can't know. But I would love to think that that I could. All right, so I'm gonna grab these, and then Trump is coming up. Let's do it. Modern Apocrypha said, "Gotta remember, WikiLeaks is a serious danger to the deep state. So anybody who's involved in that cabal has a vested interest in keeping the lid on." Indeed.
Thank you. Appreciate it very much. Thank you so much.
a whole bunch of movies
on. I really want to. If you want to support me, you very much. If you
right.
sign it, that would be
All
amazing.
right, it is Trump time,
me,
baby. It is Trump time, baby. Let me see you get excited. Again, if you are new here, welcome. I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. And I live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And usually, as we've been doing, I'll take a podcast or a conversation or something and break it down as we've been doing. But now that Trump is here, I am not going to be doing that as much. I want to hear what this man has to say.
You can on Luke Unfilled building the.
I am Phil the Room, Destroy All Enemies tour will on Apple. I think that's.
Gotta get the New England CNR.com station. Hi, all President Trump.
Hey!
Ladies and gentlemen, President Donald J. Trump.
Oh, they faked that. They could have had a little smoother than that.
This is yours that we have here right
No? Oh, okay. That was real. There we go.
I see it. We met at Mar-a-Lago a couple weeks ago. I remember. Yeah. You complimented my face. I really do appreciate it. Your beauty. Thanks for sitting down. I really do appreciate it. So I know you don't have a lot of time, so I'll just we'll jump right in.
Okay, good.
We had a couple polls we went over on the show, on our show, IRL. Young people, surprisingly, immigration is a top issue for them now. I was talking to a young guy, he's 26. He says he's watching what's going on in New York. He owns a business. He can't afford to buy his own house. He struggles to be able to support a family. And I know that you've said that there's going to be the largest deportation effort in your next term.
Oh, yeah.
How do we do it?
Okay.
So millions and millions of people are coming into our country, and it's not necessarily exactly what we want or had in mind.
Told you.
They have open borders where people just flow in. And many of those people are coming from prisons. Many of those people, frankly, are murderers and they're drug dealers, and they're coming from mental institutions, and they're coming from places that are not going to work very well. It's not going to be very good for our country. So we're going to start with that, and we have to get them out. No country can sustain what we're going through. I believe the number is 15, 16 million, could even be 17 million people right now.
Shit.
Is
That's more than that's bigger than almost all of our states.
I think it's freaking out young people. How do we do it though? I mean, is it going to be new personnel?
It will really be done with local police. You know, the respect has been taken away. The honor has been taken away from our police forces. They're not allowed to do anything. And whether it's libertarian or not libertarian, people.
Really quick, can anybody think? We should have done this already. Can anybody think of a drinking game? Anybody think of a drinking game?
You have to have law and order. You can't have 500 people walking into a department store and just walking out with everything they have. And we have to give honor and respect back. And I believe immunity, because, you know, so often when a police person does their job, they end up with no pension. They end up with no house. They end up with no family. Everything's taken away from them. They have to get their own lawyer. So we're going to give them back their dignity and their strength. The local
every time he says
police
something,
know the criminals that we're talking about. They know their first name, their middle name, and their last name. They know everything about them. and we're going to have to let
All
them
right. Every time he uses a nickname, we drink.
do that, and they will bring them in. We have no choice. And these are in many cases, and this is from all over the world, not just South America, which is big enough, but they're coming in from the Congo. They're coming in from all parts of Africa. They're coming in from all parts of Asia, and it's an invasion into our country, and no country can handle this. So we're going to have them taken out. Local police, we're going to work very closely with the local police, and it's been done before. We had Dwight Eisenhower, believe it or not, did the biggest deportation. He pretty much stopped it. Strange that we mentioned Eisenhower because you don't think of him that way, but he did a massive deportation where people were pouring in.
The next big question
Sticking to all these.
we get a lot is there's two components to this. The first is many of the libertarians here, we want to see firings. We want to see in the bureaucracy corrupt individuals, the bloat. On top of that,
She wasn't joking.
without getting into the specifics for obvious reasons, the things that they're doing to you with the court system is not just to you. It is to me. It is to everyone who voted for you in 2020.
It's true.
Are we going to get some good personnel in as Attorney General, Deputy Attorney General, and in the CIA, and see some prosecutions?
Good question.
So we had some great people because our trade numbers were fantastic. The jobs we did on trade, the jobs we did, frankly, in the military underneath the terrible television generals who were absolutely terrible, but we have incredible people. You know, we defeated ISIS, and we had no new wars because they were concerned with us.
No new wars. I'm drinking every no new wars
at all. I finished off a war that we were in for 20 years, but we had no wars. And we have to get the right people. It's all about the people. So when I first came here, I was only in Washington 17 times in my life. All of a sudden, I'm president. And I really knew nobody. I relied on people. Some were good, some were rhinos, some gave us some bad advice. And generally speaking, we had very good people.
How is that going to change?
But we had some that we have to do better. Attorney General, we have to get a great Attorney General. And I'd work with the Libertarian Party on that. I think it's very good because, you know, I view the Libertarian Party as almost a party of common sense, largely of common sense. And I say that about the Republican Party, too. We're a party of common sense. You want borders, but you want fairness. You want a lot of things that a lot of other people don't talk about.
I'm liking it so far.
We will work with a lot of people to get the right people in. The difference is I now know sort of everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm not having to be relying on
they're at
people that I didn't know very well.
They're at the Libertarian National Convention.
Well, and listen to their recommendations. And I think we're going to have phenomenal people. I know the people. I know the good ones, the bad ones, the weak ones, the strong ones. I think we're going to have great people.
We're friends with Kash Patel. He was on the show just before you, and that gives me a lot of confidence.
Yeah, well, Kash is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's an example of a good one.
Yep.
We have some great people.
A good one.
Kash was a great example. Devin Nunes, as you know, he's fantastic.
Absolutely.
So many great people.
So when it came to foreign policy,
he's a good.
I'll be honest, I didn't vote for you in 2016. I was jaded.
Shit, me
Obama
neither.
let me down. I'm from Chicago. I thought 2016 was silly, and then in 2020, with the timeline for getting out of Afghanistan,
right?
When you tried to get our troops out of Syria, my question is, why are we in Syria? Who even knew?
Yeah.
And they lied to you.
Real quick again, do you want me to keep it up here so that I can pull up the comments and you can read it, or do you want it full screen?
And they lied to us about the number of troops in there. And so maybe it's a bit blunt for me to say I want to see people prosecuted for the lies to the American people. But in terms of foreign policy, perhaps it's a little bit of a biased interview, but I think you're the greatest president of my lifetime.
I appreciate it.
And ending the wars that we should not have been involved in. Now the fear is World War III.
Yeah.
What are you looking at when you enter your next term to stopping the escalation?
Well, first of all, I'm the only one that is going to stop World War III because this man can't put two sentences together. He doesn't know what he's doing, doesn't know where he is.
Sleepy Joe. Let's get a
And
Sleepy Joe.
amazingly, it seems like he's going to be running. You know, it's a lot of people say, do you think he'll make it to the starting gate? Well, we'll see what happens. But if you look at Viktor Orban, because we don't want to see wars. I don't want to see wars. I was in no wars other than we finished a war with ISIS and we completed it 100% complete. But I don't want to see wars. I think it's so horrible, so unnecessary, so costly in terms of lives and money in that order. And destroying these countries, you know, you're destroying culture. When you look at Ukraine, that would have never happened if I were president. You look at the October 7th attack on Israel, it would have never happened.
I look at your policies, I see secure the borders, bring jobs back. I look at the Democrats and many Republicans, and it's foreign war and foreign expansion.
That's right.
What is that?
I think it's just a failed mentality. It's crazy. You can solve problems over a telephone. Instead, they start dropping bombs. I see recently they're dropping bombs all over Yemen. You don't have to do that. You can talk in such a way where they respect you and they listen to you. Viktor Orban of Hungary, you know, the leader, they call him a strong man. Who cares if he's a strong man or not a strong man? He's a very powerful guy. He said the problem the world has is that Donald Trump is no longer president. When he was president, China didn't play around, Russia didn't play around, nobody played around, and we had no problems. Today, the whole world is on fire.
I heard that funny, there was a conversation from a phone call where you said that there was they maybe thought there was a 5% chance you'd nuke them. And so it kept them in line. It's kind of scary to think about, but you take a look at the weakness we have now with Ukraine and the money that we are wasting. You know, I'll bring it back to the economy. This young guy I was talking to about immigration. Actually, I'll put it this way. There's a viral video where a young man screaming that we're sending hundreds of billions to a country no one's ever heard of. And young people are hurting in this country. Do you see any direct economic policy that is on your list for 2025?
Direct economic, but also direct in terms of warfare. We're spending hundreds of billions of dollars all around the world. But when you look at Ukraine, we're giving all of this money. Europe, which is much more affected by that war than us, is spending just a tiny fraction of what we're spending. And you say, does anybody at least get involved in this? But more importantly, I will end that war. I'll get it ended. Putin respects me. Zelensky respects me. I know all the players, and I want to get that war ended. It's a horrible war. It's a terrible. There's no good war, but that's a horrible war. And to think it would have never started. It would have never started if the election.
Yeah, that was the CNN thing where she was trying to get him to say, who should win? He was like, I just want people to stop dying.
Shouldn't turned out like it should have turned out. That war would have never started. I mean, and you know, the number of lives we're talking about is far greater than the numbers that you hear. When they blow up a town, or when they blow up these buildings, these massive buildings, surprisingly, I mean, these are big. That was my business. These are big, powerful buildings. And they come tumbling down to the ground and they say nobody was injured. A lot of people were killed. Yeah. And the numbers are a lot different than you think. When you will see that happening. When those numbers really get announced, you're going to see it's much worse than people think.
Here at the Libertarian Party National Convention, they had one of their, I believe one of their presidential nominees said he wants to see Fauci, the heads of Moderna, Pfizer, Biden, and you locked up for what happened during COVID. I don't agree with them, but there is a big sentiment. Elon Musk tweeted, prosecute Fauci. Fauci lied to Congress about the gain of function research that was going on. And now we have testimony.
Well, I'm the one that stopped the funding. And this was funding from before me. I'm the one that stopped the funding. Fauci wasn't a big player in my administration like he was after I left. I mean, Biden made him the king of everything. And if you take a look at that, Fauci was not the big player with me that he was. And in fact, I did things that he didn't want to do. He wanted to keep it open to China. I said, you got to close it to China because it was all coming out of China. It was coming out of Wuhan, which I said right at the beginning. But the other thing is, and what people don't realize, I believe in federalism. I gave the power to governors. Some governors did a great job. In all cases, they were Republicans. And some, like in South Carolina, Henry McMaster, kept everything open. Others didn't. The Democrats did a bad job.
I'm going to star some of these comments that we'll come back to after they're done.
Very bad job. But basically, I gave that power over the states. I gave it to the governor. I gave it back to the states. And I think it's something which, when people realize that, it's something that they respect.
Will there be accountability for the lying to Congress when you get to appoint your new AG? Deputy AG.
Yeah, and we'll take a look at statute of limitations because, you know, the statute of limitations are quite long, and we're going to be looking at that very seriously. Yeah.
Lock him up.
One big question for you.
Lock up Fauci.
Part of my family comes from Korea.
Good.
And you did what I think is one of the most tremendous things. You crossed the demilitarized zone into North Korea with no security as a sign of goodwill and peace with the hostile nation. And I've had people tell me it never happened. So I think people need to know about it. I'm wondering if you can just tell me how did that happen? How did it come to be?
And it hasn't happened since.
Yeah.
And when I met with, the handoff, you sort of meet with the previous president for a period of time. The meeting lasted for quite a while with President Obama. You sit in the Oval Office and you talk, and the press is outside and you talk for a little while. He said the single greatest threat we have is North Korea. And I said, have you called them? Have you tried to talk to them? You know, little things like that. And didn't matter what the answer was. He felt that was the single biggest threat in the world was North Korea. And as you know, there was certain hostility when I first started, and all of a sudden it boiled down to something that was very beautiful, the way it happened. And I got along with him very well. And I will say that if Hillary won that race, you would have had a nuclear war and millions of people would have been killed.
Yep.
And you weren't even close to that. It never happened. It was never going to happen. I got along great with him, and it just never was going to happen.
Were you at all scared in any way when you crossed into an enemy country?
DMZ.
Well, I wouldn't say that Secret Service was thrilled. And in those blue buildings, there were lots of people in those buildings that I looked at. You know, the two blue buildings on each side with the windows. And I looked in those windows, and there were a lot of things happening in those. Someday I'll tell you about it. But no, I felt very safe. I felt my relationship with him, as you know, was very hostile. Little Rocket Man and all that. But then all of a sudden,
that's your nickname.
He respected me. I respected him. And we ended up, once we got to know each other, we ended up very good. A very smart guy, very strong guy. He's the absolute leader of that country. You know, for those that think he's not, they're wrong. And I got to know him very well. I even did a press conference. He never did a press conference before. I said, would you like to do a press conference? And we did a press conference, if you remember. And then he said, that's the end of the press conference. And boom, everybody was pretty radically thrown out. But it was a press conference, the only press conference he's ever done. I got along with him great. We had no nuclear war. You would have had a nuclear war guaranteed. And you won't if we have the right president, if we have somebody that knows what he's doing, you're not going to have World War III. If, on the other hand, we don't, you're going to end up in World War III, and it's going to be a war like no other because of the power of weaponry.
Many have actually been saying we're already in it. The Hill published a piece saying we are in World War III and Biden is losing it. And so my hope is
that's what bounced out.
I don't see any logical path for a Biden presidency to fix the economy, to fix anything.
He can't fix it. He can't fix himself.
Yeah.
Can't fix anything.
He had a new one the other day. Pakalaka. I don't know if you saw that. He was muttering on TV, something like that. Now,
unfazed. I just so you know, I know all the leaders. They're at the top of their game. They're sharp. They're tough. They're smart. They love their country, or they do whatever they have to for their country at a minimum. And when they see this guy come in, I think they can't believe it. I know they can't believe it. It's not the right person.
So we'll do a couple quick ones. We don't have much time. You announced you're taking cryptocurrency.
What we're doing is we're backing it as a form of, as a field. And we have to, because otherwise somebody else is going to be doing it from another country. And as you know, they're already trying. And it's going to happen, and we're going to help it happen. And it's something that can be very good. I think it can be very good.
No central bank digital currencies.
No digital, no central bank.
And one more big one. Will you pardon Julian Assange?
Well, I'm going to talk about that today, and we're going to give it very serious consideration. And we're going to have a couple of other things to say in the speech that I think you're going to love.
He didn't bring up Julian Assange in the speech.
I've heard some rumors.
And you've gotten so much out of me, I should leave a little bit for the speech, don't you think?
Mr. President, it is an honor and a privilege. I really do appreciate you sitting down with me.
And you're very respected, I have to say. When I did a little research, and some of my guys said, and I met you before, but they said just a very respected guy. It's my honor. Even though we're keeping that big crowd, that's the biggest crowd they've ever had. We're keeping them waiting just for this interview. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. Shall we?
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Appreciate it very much.
Beautiful. Oh my goodness. So what I'm thinking is, I don't know what they're going to do for the members segment.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
but since we're still not quite at the 2.5 hour mark, we'll see what exactly they do.
Thanks for hanging out. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show with your friends. Head over to timcast.com, click join us, and become a member to support our work directly. As a member, you get access to our uncensored call-in show Monday through Thursday. You keep this show up and running because we are made. This show is made possible thanks in part to viewers like you. You get into our Discord server. You can follow me personally at Timcast on X and Instagram. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Beautiful. Amazing. I'm so proud of the fact that just happened. I don't, obviously I don't know Tim, but as somebody who's been a big fan since before the lockdowns and any of that, long before that, I've been a member since 2021. And just to see that, I'm just like, go Tim, good job Tim for even getting that. So we have the poll here of how is Tim doing? Great, well, meh, or bad. Somebody said bad, but 50% of you said well. So I'm going to do that same exact poll. How did Tim do? Great. Well, and then we have some comments here. And yeah, since we haven't reached the 2.5 hour mark, I'll start to do the member section and see what they do. But we're gonna do the rest of that in the Discord server. I see nobody has joined, and I forget who else got memberships. So make sure you join, because that is where we are going to head for the after party. What I'm doing, meh and bad. All right, so we've got some some comments here. All right, so we'll get rid of that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. So Modern Apocrypha said Trump gave Fauci everything he wanted. I don't disagree, but I don't. It seemed like the claim wasn't that I was fighting Fauci, but that he was kind of just pushing the buck onto Fauci and onto the governors, which is not that much better, but I still think it different. And so he gave the governors primacy. And Quantek said, I bet Luke held Tim's feet to the fire over the Fauci question. And I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that there was definitely an understanding that Luke would be mad if that didn't come up. But I mean, I feel like Luke, or sorry, I feel like Tim is was anti-Fauci enough that he wouldn't have needed that. And you can't say that he didn't ask the hard questions. He definitely did. So Marjorie said, in my opinion, that went very well. And 169 said, damn, good job. That was quick and to the point. Keep them wanting more. I respect it, as do I. Go ahead. Get your butt out of my face. 169 said, I think Trump is playing the Assange question very close to the vest until after the inauguration. I agree. Yeah, he put the responsibilities with the governors, but that's how it should have been. Now, I think that if he knew that all of the governors were, except for South Carolina and eventually DeSantis, if he knew that everybody was going to keep everything locked down, he might have approached it differently. But at the same time, I do think it was a way for him to just be like, well, I mean, I didn't do it. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. So between now and November, I would very, very, very much like to hear more repudiation of what happened with Fauci, what happened during lockdowns, all of that stuff. I definitely need to hear that, but or I definitely want to hear that, but I don't need to hear it in terms of I'm not going to vote for him unless he says it. Quantek said Tim did well for the amount of time he had. He definitely threw softballs, but he had at least one hard question in there. I counted at least 3. I mean, they were only there for about 20 minutes. So he's asking about the the deep state and how he's going to how he's going to be different this time. He's like, oh, we had some people, and some of them are good and some of them are bad. So that was one. Then he had the Julian Assange thing, and then he had the Fauci thing. So for 20 minutes, I think that's pretty damn good. And how many people here? So we got 20 people here. Only 10 people voted. So hit that poll and let me know what you think about what happened. I've got this in the background waiting for the member segment to come up. Usually takes about 10 minutes. But yeah, hit that poll, guys. Hit the poll. Any film said, according to the Constitution, the federal government had no authority to do anything in the states. The governors did. Yeah, exactly. Marjorie said, I have no idea what Discord even is. I'm not tech savvy. That is perfectly fine. It's basically just a group chat. You don't need to be very like. There's a lot of things you can do with it, but ours is very simple. It's basically just a group chat where we're just having conversations. And then there's also I'm going to join right now for anybody who's new the a voice channel where again it would just be like if I brought somebody up here. It's just not recorded, and we don't have to worry about YouTube censors, any of that. So just click the link, follow the instructions. I'll see that you joined, and we'll walk you through it. It's a really good time, and it's a big part of what I'm doing here. We were talking about how like on Twitch, a lot of people is their channel is about, okay, I'm gonna entertain you so that you give me money, which cool. And that's not what I'm doing, but also it's about building a community. And so as much as, we come and talk here and cover, things that are going on, it's really in the Discord community that we're going to be able, especially as we grow, to be able to coordinate and again, as we get bigger, there'll be more people that you can meet up with in real life, all that kind of stuff. So it's very, very, very important for the community building. So if you're there's a lot of people who are not tech savvy. Indie films, and it only took me 3 months how to get on a Discord, and occasionally I forget, but he's there all the time because we are very patient and it is very easy. We are happy to walk you through it. So again, just click the link, and all you need is an email address, and I'll see that you joined up here, and we'll walk you through it. Yep, as long as Discord allows free speech. A little inside joke there, but that's absolutely what it is. So we don't have to worry about saying the jab or unalived or whatever. It is a completely free speech platform. All right, so they are not up yet. So again, usually we will go 2.5 hours. And hey, there we go. Welcome, Am. So do that and that. And so now, Am, you should be able to see more of the channels. And if you look on the left-hand side, like if imagine this was Discord. So if you see a bunch of stuff over here, over on the left-hand side where there's like home, about, store on this website, you'll see a similar thing in Discord where there's welcome, YouTube, free chat, all that stuff. You can see Let Us Speak. That is the voice channel. Just click on Let Us Speak, and then you'll already be in the channel for the after party. Simple as pie. Simple as pie. All right, so going back to our poll here. Let's see. So everybody said that he did at least well. So everybody thought he did a positive. It was a positive thing. He did a good job. How well is different. So what would keep you from see? I told you, we got you. And as you can see, me and where are we? So as you can see, me, Guamtech, Jared, Unwanted Foe, we are already in the after party if you just click here. So if you are not a member, you get the free chat channel. We have the current events channel, content suggestions, but all of this stuff, there's even a girls only, which is a female only channel, and there she is. There you go. So right now we're still hanging out doing the show, but you guys feel free to chat while we're waiting. But either way, that's hey, shout out to Ronin MMA fan page. Welcome to the party. How are you doing? I missed you very, very much. I couldn't sleep. I missed you so much, brother. I missed you so much. Did you watch Timcast and Trump? I thought it was good. So I don't know if they're going to do an after party. So it might be that that's just what they have for tonight. Either way, we are going to be. I'm flying by the seat of our pants here. But members, you got nothing to worry about. Maybe I'm a little gay. Whoa. First of all, he is Morty. This is my co-host, Morty. And he gets a treat with every single donation. But since you asked, I'll give him one. A freebie to thank all of you guys for hanging out. And even though we didn't get 2 hours of Trump, I think we still had a good time. I think we still got to talk about the important aspects of it. All right. So again, it usually is about 10 minutes. So we're not in any we're all good so far. But what else did you guys think about that speech? Did that change anything about yes, that's a dog. And he's old. Don't be mean to my dog. He's going to be 15. He's going to be 15 this summer. In August he turns 15 years old. Damn. It was October. It was Halloween 2010. Halloween 2010 when I got him. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Halloween 2010. You remember that? We had a party I was living at a frat house at the time, even though I wasn't in a frat. And they were having a Halloween party, and I was in my room, but I stuck I stuck myself in my room, but I had to walk through. And I remember I was carrying him, and his entire body fit on my forearm. His front legs were over here, his back legs were over here. I know he's so gigantic. 15 is more than that. So 50, it's 7. So 70. And then 7, so it'd be 105 years old. He's over 100 years old. He's over 100. So Monopocket said, I was surprised on how sold on crypto apparently is. Frankly, he seemed to genuinely be favorably inclined. Yeah, he was talking about it in the speech that he did right after what we just saw as well. Now is that when I first heard that, I'm like, okay, we know that the libertarian community or like the Libertarian Party and the Bitcoin community very heavily overlaps. But it wasn't just in the speech. I mean, yes, he was asked directly, but he said no central bank digital currency. And if you're not familiar, that's basically just the digital dollar. And it'd be it would be on your phone or whatever. And, when you get canceled, it's just one more easy way to just shut you out of society. Guanteg said it was good to hear Trump basically say that he'll be using the law to go after all the corrupt officials in the swamp. I want to believe he learned his lesson and means it this time. I said, shit. Me too. Indeed. And yeah, the crypto thing. Yeah, crypto is just a new type of commodity, stock or bond. But the fact is that it's a new type. And so the people who have established themselves within the New York Stock Exchange, where you've made these changes and that changes and that changes because you have Nancy Pelosi in your ear, and you've got at the top of the mountain. Well, that's not necessarily the same thing. Of course, there's still whales in the market, but because it's different. And because it's not regulated by the U.S. government, it is independent, and because it can work without a government at all, we Gucci. Apocrypha said the problem is that even if he goes after the corruption, he'd have to actually change the nature of the system for it to matter. Could he do that? I'm not convinced. No, he couldn't do that. There's absolutely no way he can do that, which is why I'm happy that this, him winning and doing what he does and then leaving the scene, that is going to show that MAGA is not about Trump derangement in the other way. That it's crazy love for Trump. That it is actually a collection of ideas that is accurately represented by who Trump is, and he just happens to be the figurehead right now. But it's not like they get rid of Trump and we're done with. Zibby said, you mean how credit card companies will ban your account if you buy guns or that? Yes. They make it hella they make it a lot easier. Yeah, well, okay, but this is only a lot of different cryptocurrencies are regulated, but transfer fees, and you don't have transfer fees unless you're going through a third party. So that's like using Western Union and being like, oh, well, money's regular. Like, well, no, but you can just put you can have your hard drive, and you have your keys, you have your money, and then you can just send it to wherever. Now, again, they're like, just because there's transfer fees doesn't mean that it's regulated. You know what I mean? All right, so we are now 14. Well, it is now. Oh, it's only 5 minutes after. Yeah, but it's been about 10 minutes. So let's see. We're gonna make a couple. We'll give it a couple more minutes. If they don't do an after party, which again they probably won't. Now that I'm thinking about it, it makes sense. I hope they do, because it would be really nice to have them do kind of like a roundtable of like what just happened, a recap, how do they feel about it, all that kind of stuff. But it does make sense that oh, they did say that. Okay, no, after the show tonight. Thank you, Melted Mind Media. All right, so I mean, I think between the actual speech at the Libertarian Convention and that little interview, I think that was great. I think that was great. When you compare it to the fact that Biden has nothing, I mean, this is a great way to really start the actual election season. When we say election season, and where it has different stages, where all of the previous year, yeah, people are talking about it, but really once the summer kicks in, especially since they're having the debate early this year, I think. So okay, well, anytime we didn't get to go to this one, but yeah, I think it was a very, very good showing. So let's give a shout out to our donation. Shout out to Turkey Baster, a barely even knower. We had Funk Master General vote with the $5 super chats. We had Unwanted Foe knocking him out of that spot with the $6. And then, of course, Funkmaster General don't know how to come through and not bless the Indian Jesus with not just another 20 spot, but 5 gifted memberships. Guys, thank you so very, very much. I really, really do appreciate it. Even if you can't, spend money, that's totally fine. We are doing something big here. And by you just watching, by you engaging, by you being part of the conversation, by you, liking the video, sharing the video, by commenting, all of that stuff really helps. And you can see that, it only takes one video here or there to pop off, and then we're at the next level. And then now we can talk to all these people. And then we get to the next level. And we get to the next level. Stick with me, guys. We are closer to the beginning than we are to the end. So thank you so very, very much for hanging out with me, guys. Members, I will see you in the after party. But for the rest of you, I am live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And sometimes whenever I feel like it, again, I have been going live a lot more. So hit that subscribe, ring the bell, and you will never miss an Indian Jesus live party ever again. Oh, my goodness. The Funkmaster General going overboard. We'll give him a whole handful for that one with the $10 super chat sending us out. So Trump isn't going to save us. He's only going to buy us the time we need to save ourselves. Could not have said that better myself. What a beautiful, beautiful way to end the show. Thank you again so very, very much. Funkmaster General, Unwanted Foe, Turkey Baster, and each and every one of you, every 3,002 or more, every 3,002 of you who have clicked that subscribe button. It means the world to me. Thank you so very much. I really hope to see you guys again if you are new here. I know I'll be seeing some of my members in just a moment. But once again, this is Morty, and I have been your host, Lutch, a.k.a. the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, we are out of here. Peace. Oh, shit.